we'll be recording, I'll be streaming live on YouTube because for some reasons, we might not be able to have more than 100 people on the Zoom call. So I want to ensure that we're on Zoom streaming and, getting everybody to participate. So in a few minutes, just let me settle out the Zooming thing and then we can kick it off with the introduction. Sorry for the technical glitch. Please confirm you can hear me.
Hello. Yeah, I can hear you now. I wasn't hearing you.
I hear you.
Yes, we can.
Thank you, everyone. Apologies for the technical glitch. I was just trying to start streaming live. Sorry for the technical glitch. Please confirm you can hear me.
Hello. Yeah, I can hear you now. I wasn't hearing you.
I hear you.
Yes, we can.
Thank you, everyone. Apologies for the technical glitch. I was just trying to start streaming live. Sorry for the technical glitch. Please confirm you can hear me.
Hello. Yeah, I can hear you now. I wasn't hearing you.
Sincere apologies for the technical glitch. We're just going to go right into it. Please confirm that you can still hear me. Yes, okay. I've muted everyone, so you might not be able to say anything. I'll go right into it. I want to introduce our first speaker. I'm glad we started on time so that we could do that. We could, have time on our hands. So our first speaker is Mojisola Bazuaye, CIPD. She's a dynamic senior HR partner and career and personal development coach with more than 17 years of professional working experience in project management, human resources, and leadership with the technology, telecommunications, and banking sector. And most recently in the world of consulting in a Fortune 500 company. She's an expert at designing personal and professional development and growth plan that works, and has a unique talent to inspire and compel each person to recognize their purpose, personal uniqueness, and value. With a wealth of experience in her career and life journey, balancing her empathetic coaching style with a supportive and performance-based focus, she has successfully helped many professionals get unstuck, gain career clarity, find new career path, return to work after taking career breaks, land jobs, change jobs, and achieve progression while equipping them to do jobs that make them engaged, enabled, energized, without compromising their values. Mojisola is an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Development and currently completing a PMP accreditation. She completed a postgraduate MSc in Buying and Management at Technical University, Dublin, Ireland, a BSc in Industrial Biology with Bioinformatics at Technical University, Kalu, Ireland, and BSc Microbiology at University of Ibadan, Nigeria. Mojisola has completed more than 45 certifications in human resources and leadership, including certification in diversity, equality, and inclusion, creating a culture of change, organizational learning and development, leading with emotional intelligence, and executive leadership, to mention a few, which helps her to continue to support talented and high-performing professionals and leaders to maximize their potential within and outside of the workplace. Mojisola is the creator of the Pep Talk series on video, where she shares motivational content to encourage, inspire, and influence our global audience. She's also the creator of the Career Level Up, where she shares career management and growth strategies to a global audience, guiding them through a career and life they would enjoy. Mojisola is the author of Use What You Have, Create the Life You Want, and Competency Interview Made Easy. Seeing people be the very best they can be is a passion. It is Mojisola's reason for being here on earth. So she writes books that help people be the best they can be, whether in their career or in life in general. Her books are clearly written, authentic with faith values, actionable, easy to follow steps, credible information and guidance. She dedicates her time mentoring, especially youth and young adults, equipping them with strategies that would help them remain on the straight and narrow while developing their God-given gifts and focusing on their education to maximize their fullest potential. Join me as I have the honor to welcome Mojisola Obazwaye to talk to us about the future of work for bilingual or multilingual persons from a global HR perspective. Please, let's show us some love by, let's use emojis, let's clap, let's welcome her. Welcome, Mojisola.
Hi, everyone. Bonjour. Salut.
Welcome, salut.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Madam Adejoke, for having me. It's really my pleasure to be here. She's my coach. She's my French teacher, a fantastic, phenomenal lady. And I think she's doing something incredible for everyone who is present here. So I would strongly recommend that you stay till the very end, so you can avail of the gifts that she has for you. So like I said, I'm really excited to be here. And I'm going to be sharing with you some of the opportunities that are available there for you as an HR professional. Pardon me, as a French professional, I can't speak. And also I'll be sharing from an HR perspective, given my background. So I'm excited to be here. So you can take notes, you can ask questions if you have them. And so let's dive into it. Yeah. So I'm going to be starting out with some of the skills of the future according to World Economic Forum. So the World Economic Forum has come up with about 20 skills that would be the skills of the future by 2025. And I think everybody on the call who aspires to be much more than just being a French professional should take this very seriously. As a professional myself, I'm taking it very seriously. And I also say the same thing to everyone that I work with or everyone that I coach. So I'll touch on them. And secondly, I'll be sharing some of the jobs available to you as a French professional. And thirdly, I'll be sharing some of the companies that offer this kind of roles globally. And I'll also be sharing how recruitment is done for this role. So it's going to be a full package. So please do listen closely. And like I said, if you have any questions, please do ask. I'll be more than happy to share to the best of my ability. So according to the World Economic Forum, the top skills for the future would be number one, to be an analytical thinker and to be innovative. Innovation simply means coming up with concept ideas that can help resolve global problems or solve people problems or solve business problems. So you have to be innovative, come up with ideas. And the good thing about the world of work these days is that no idea is stupid. So if you are very creative, if you are very innovative, and you also have a language skill, I think that the future is very bright for you. You just have to explore the options that are there for you and maximize your skills and experience to be able to position yourself as an expert in the world of work. So the second skill would be active learning and learning strategies. So I know majority of people here would be from Nigeria. I'm from Nigeria. I was born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria. So I understand Nigeria very, very well. I didn't leave Nigeria until I was 24 years old. So I was born and raised in Nigeria. So Lagos, Nigeria, to be precise. So, and a lot of times, a lot of us, once we finish school, will say something like, well, once I graduate, I'm not learning anymore. So the World Economic Forum is saying active learning and learning strategies would be one of the skills of the future. So what that simply means, to be successful as a French or language professional, you have to be interested in continuous learning. So what that simply means, when Ideation read my profile, you will see in my field, I've completed up to about 45 certifications. So continuous learning, so you can gain skills and experience in the area where you want to grow or where you want to learn or where you want to progress to. So continuous learning is important for you. So if you are here on the call, you've decided you're not going to be learning anymore. So you have to rethink that so you can be the very best as a career professional and as a language professional. Thirdly, the World Economic Forum is saying complex problem solving is a skill that is required for the future. So what that simply means is that there will be complex processes, there will be complex systems. So you must be able to solve those problems based on what you know, your skills and experience. Even with your language, you must be able to solve problems. So you must be a problem solver. And a lot of these skills you can actually learn or acquire based on what you currently do. So you don't really have to go to school to learn problem solving. You just have to continually solve problems or resolve issues. You could be a customer service executive and be a problem solver. So if there's an issue within the business, you are the one that comes up with solutions for those problems. So you have to be a complex problem solver. Number 4, critical thinking and analysis. You must be able to analyze situation. You must be able to argue intellectually. You must be able to deliver on providing results, okay, on issues, on processes, on systems, whether within the business, within an organization, or outside of the organization. So number 5 is creativity, originality, and intuitive. If you've been in any walk of world around here, especially in Europe, America, Canada, you will hear a lot of organizations using the word authenticity. So originality is one thing they are looking for. So the time of fake it till you make it has gone. You have to be authentic within the workplace. You have to be very creative. So that simply means you have to know more than one thing. So creativity is embraced, and this is very important as a skill of the future. All right, so leadership and social influence. We've seen in all of our lives, if you go on social media, the people who are making the most money are social influencers. So as a career professional or a bilingual professional, you have to have social influence. I'm not saying you have to go nude online or go naked online. That's not what I'm saying. In your own walk of work, in the work you do, you have to be able to lead yourself, lead other people by being a thought leader. So for example, I talk about career a lot, and I talk about human resources a lot. So if you like, you can consider me a thought leader in career or human resources. Does that make sense? So you have to be able to influence people. So with my post, with my career level of program, with my pep talk, I'm able to influence a global audience from this space I'm in. So when people tune into my Facebook page or Instagram or YouTube, when they listen to me, they are getting value from me. So that's what that simply means. So it's time to consider some of the things you share online. I know comedy is great. I know all the things that we share around is great, but it's important for you to be able to add influence to a group of people, a set of people, or a community of people online. All right, so technology use and monitoring and control. You see, technical ability is a skill that everyone has to adapt to or embrace and adapt to. So what that simply means is that you must be able to use technology, embrace technology. I know a lot of us don't like technology. We say, oh no, I don't like this, I don't like to try that. To start with, as a language professional, you must be able to learn basic functions in the technology space. I'm not saying you have to learn coding. It is really good. I work in HR, but it is mandatory for me to complete some technical programs within my business. So basically, I must be able to maneuver systems, processes, adapt, embrace and adapt new systems and new tools coming up within the business. So if you're an HR professional, you don't know anything, I would strongly recommend that you start with basic ones like learning MS Office, you know, Microsoft Excel, Word, PowerPoint, learn how to use Outlook, learn how to store information in Google Drive, how to retrieve them, how to use shared folder, little things like that would help. It's a starting point for embracing technology and learning it effectively. Because if you want to be successful from a global perspective, you have to have technical ability, all right? Am I making sense? Just give me a thumbs up there that everyone can hear me. You don't have to speak. You can use the emoji feature. Fantastic, I like that. So technology design and programming. So I've talked about just entry-level technology, just learning like MS Office. Now the World Economic Forum is saying you have to have the ability to design technology and programming. So this is where things like coding comes in. If you're not doing anything in Lagos, Nigeria, I've seen a lot of fantastic opportunities, especially in the world of startups. You see a lot of people who offer training for free. So this is the time for you to learn little things like coding, software development. They will change your life as a bilingual professional, because with your language skill and your technical ability, you could find yourself in a fantastic organization like Google, Twitter. I'll talk more about that in a bit. All right, so the World Economic Forum is saying some of the skills for the future also include resilience, stress tolerance, and flexibility. I'll start with flexibility. Being flexible is very important. You could start learning flexibility in the simplest way. So someone gives you an appointment for 4 o'clock and they decided, oh, they can't meet you at 4 o'clock anymore, maybe for one reason or the other, and they reached out to you to say they'll meet you at 5 p.m. It's important for you to be able to be flexible to accommodate their need. In the workplace, the future of work, you have to be extremely flexible. So if you are someone who is always very proactive in the morning, 9 o'clock is your time where you deliver seamlessly in the workplace, sometimes you may have to move that appointment to 10 a.m. So that's really flexibility to some extent. So also flexibility means changing programs, adapting to new systems, processes, being flexible and being adaptable to new things, very important. Also, resilience, the ability to bounce back. God forbid anyone dies. Maybe you are going to write an exam in the morning, your dog dies. Are you going to stay down or you get up and go write that exam on that same day? While it is okay to move the exam, it is also important to be able to bounce back almost immediately, because there will always be setbacks, there will always be issues. So it's important for you as a career professional, a bilingual professional, or a career person altogether to be able to bounce back immediately. Maybe if you work in customer service, you had an experience of a terrible customer. Are you going to stay there crying, or are you going to bounce back and face the next customer with a smile on your face? So that's resilience. Then stress tolerance. There will always be stress. Lagos is stressful enough, as far as I know. There will be traffic, there will be go slow, there will be Mama Put who decided to display their wares where footpaths should be. So you must be able to tolerate those things. The fact that you experience a challenge on your way to work does not mean you shouldn't perform in the workplace effectively. So you must be able to bounce back and have the ability to tolerate stress, very important. And then the last one, for the sake of time, that I would mention would be reasoning, problem solving, and ideation. Let's start with problem solving. Like I said before, you have to be a problem solver. And the good news is that all of us have that innate ability to solve problems from our skills, from our experience, from some of the qualities, skills and experience we've learned on our journeys. So for example, a problem that Adejoke is trying to solve is that she's trying to help bilingual professionals to explore other opportunities on their career journey. That is solving a problem. She came up with an idea to put this forum together. That is ideation. So simple things like that, you must be able, before she could do this, she would have thought about it. That is reasoning. So you come up with concepts, you think about them, and you come up with ideas to resolve problems, okay? Can I get another round of emojis there if I'm making sense and you can hear me clearly? You don't have to speak, please do use the thumbs up. Oh, perfect. Yeah, fantastic, thank you everyone. So now let's talk about some of the jobs that are available to you as a bilingual professional from a global HR perspective, all right? The first one would be customer service, all right? Customer service could be just sales, and it could also be customer issue resolutions. So customer service would be, could be as simple as someone who works in ShopRite. Let's use a perspective that everyone understands. So someone who attends to you on the shop floor in ShopRite or in Tesco or in Asda's or in Lidl is a customer service executive or a customer service advisor. So let's take it a step further. Customer service could be in the form of someone who meets people face to face. And customer service could be someone who stays on the phone to help people resolve their problem. And I used to hire for customer service executive before, and my scope included language professionals. So people who speak French, some people would have French abilities, some of them would have Dutch, and some of them will have like Polish, Spanish. Some people have like 5 different languages that they speak. So those would be the kind of people that I'm looking for. So if you're here and you've always wanted to help people resolve problems, or you've always enjoyed talking on the phone, or you've always enjoyed helping customers to resolve their issues, maybe customer service is an option to explore. And the good news now is that no matter where you are in the world, there's opportunity for you to be a customer service executive from the comfort of your home, which is called remote working. I've now gone to a physical office environment for the past 1 year. In fact, it's almost 1 year and 4 months, and I've been working from home. I've changed jobs twice. Okay, in July of 2020, I started a new job. Then I just moved into a new job in June of 2021. Everything is possible from my home office space, all right? So customer service is one that is good for you as a bilingual professional. So I'll talk about some of the advantages of being a customer service executive or customer service professional. This means that you can actually interact with people from different parts of the world. It can give you the opportunity to learn different skills and experience, or to maximize the ones that you already have, like effective communication, like relationship building or relationship management or stakeholder management, or for you to have that strong technical ability. And as a customer service executive or professional, you could take your career up to director level, all right? So that's one career option for you. And that is not a profession a lot of people actually go into. I do come from a customer service background, and I don't work in customer service anymore, but I still deal with internal customers because I cater to the people within the organization. And this is still customer service to some extent, all right? So the next kind of opportunity available to you will be customer success. Customer success is very similar to customer service, but they are totally different things, yeah? So customer success could be account management or account executive, where you'll be responsible for managing clients' accounts, all right? With your language skill, you could be managing accounts in countries you would never visit. So you probably would never visit some European countries, but you can manage client accounts in those countries, all right? Then under the umbrella of customer success, you could be a relationship manager. Like I said, relationship management is one of the skills of the future. So if you are one who can truly manage even platonic relationship, this is a time for you to begin to correct them. So if you get offended very easily, you can't really hold relationship without having problems or issues with people, this is the time for you to begin to master how to manage stakeholders, AKA people, or how to be a relationship manager. A relationship manager would manage relationship across organizations. So if you are responsible for the accounts of Google, Facebook, maybe Accenture, LinkedIn, you have to be able to manage different stakeholders that you would work with, even with your language. So it's easier if you have the language skill, but you must be able to manage relationship no matter who you are working with, whether at the executive level or whether at a junior level, all right? So another career option for you would be marketing. Marketing could be digital content creation or product marketing. Product marketing could be as simple as marketing a brand new product that Coke is launching for example. So you must be able to translate the product you must be able to come up with a concept that will help you sell the product to an audience. In this case, it could be people who speak French or any other language. It could also be English. So if you speak French and English, they could say, create the marketing campaign in English and then in French. So you must be able to do that effectively, especially with your language. So that's one career option for you, marketing. It could also be digital content creation. It could be that you'll be creating content that the marketing team would use to market product or service to a demographic, so to a targeted audience, so to say. So that's one career option for you as well. Then in the area of STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and math, this is big right now. And for bilingual professionals, it is also very strong. So if you have technical ability, this is a time for you to think of an area that you're truly interested in, and you upskill in that area so you can progress in your career. So what am I saying? If you have that technical ability or you are interested in technology, you could learn coding, you could learn software development, you could learn network engineering, or gain experience in those places. If you want to explore Lagos, you know, there are a lot of hubs in the Yaba area where they offer some of these programs, some of them for free, some of them you would have to invest in those things. It helps a lot. My husband used to have an office in Computer Village, Nigeria, and he was one of the pioneers of Computer Village. At the time, he paid somebody to train him in Cisco. So after business, the guy would come in and train him on all those Cisco things. Now he has done so many Cisco certifications. He works in engineering, even though he was doing sales before. So all these things are possible. You just have to be willing to explore the things that are available to you. So think of an area you want to specialize in. Don't do everything. Choose one area and be an expert in that area. With your language skill, you can explore the entire world, okay? So can I get some emojis there again? Thumbs up if you're hearing me and everything is going good on your end so we can know, yeah, I'm still clear. Oh, fantastic. All right, so one that is really something a lot of language professionals do a lot is translation. All right, a lot of people do this because you have the language already. You speak English, then you speak French, and you realize that this is something that is also a good career path for a lot of organizations. So if an organization has clients from a country where they don't speak English, as a bilingual professional, you can offer your service as a translator on full-time basis. And a lot of organizations around here do offer that. You could grow your career up to managerial level, up to director level, and on and on and on like that, if that is the kind of opportunity you're seeking, yeah? Another one, like I said, or like you all know now, I work in human resources, and I've been doing human resources now for a while. I've done program management, I've done recruitment, I've done advisory and coaching. I'm doing I'm in a different space in human resources now, diversity and inclusion, which is a new opportunity I wanted to explore so I can be the face of diversity for people of color where I am. So human resources, especially recruitment. So a lot of times when organizations are recruiting, especially in the area of EMEA, Europe, Middle East, and Africa, they need someone like you to help relate to people who don't speak English in different parts of the world. So for example, when I was recruiting, I didn't have French skill or any language skill, but I was able to successfully hire those many individuals to come join our organization. So in this case, yeah, a translator would help me test them for language skill, which is something you can do effectively. So you could sit conveniently in human resources and doing recruitment as well. And a lot of organizations do consider language professionals, especially in the area of maybe Latin America, APAC, and also EMEA. Latin America is the one they call LATAM, L-A-T-A-M. APAC is APAC, and then EMEA is EMEA, European, Middle East, and Africa. So if it's something that you've always wanted to work in the people space, this is also something you can consider as a bilingual professional. All right, so other career opportunities will be for you to work with public bodies. So when I say public bodies, will be public organizations like World Health Organization, European Union. There are a lot of opportunities there in that space for you. I do have some of my colleagues. We just finished a session with Madam Adejoke not too long ago. Some of them were in Switzerland and they were learning French. They came from Africa, somewhere in Africa. So those opportunities are there for you. And if you have French already, it's always easier. And one of the best ways to get into such, if you really are into public sector or public service, is to start by volunteering in your local community and go to the next level and to the next level. It helps you meet people and to connect with the right people who can take you further on your journey. Yeah? And the last one I would share would be teaching, lecturing, or coaching. So there's always opportunities also for people who are bilinguals in the teaching space or in the lecturing space. So for example, if you find yourself in, say, maybe like France, okay, I do have a younger mentee of mine. She lives here in Ireland, but she went to France to go hang out at the south of France so she can polish her French. So she met people who are Irish as well, who were working in France, and they were able to use their language skill. So this is something you could also explore if teaching is your strength, or you've always wanted to deliver lectures or seminars, and then coaching as well. So those would be some of the jobs available to you: customer service, customer success, marketing in the STEM area, science, technology, engineering and maths, translation, and human resources, public organizations and public service, and also teaching and lecturing or coaching. So those will be some of the opportunities available for you. So some of the companies that really that you can target once you've polished your skills, your experience, and you know that you are up to industry standard. May I request that everyone be on mute, please, so I am not shouting too much. So if your audio is on, please keep it on mute so everyone can hear us. We can have a seamless experience. Thank you very much. So for companies that you can target, everybody wants to work with some of the biggest companies in the world. And I'll tell you, I've always loved working with very big organizations. And I think I would say I've been very lucky. I've worked really hard for me to be able to attain that on my career journey. And I'm truly grateful for that. So if you have language skill and you're interested in working for big corporations, the good news is now with the opportunity to work remotely. In fact, all these big organizations are telling you now that you can be in Malta working for them. You can be in Africa working for them. And a lot of these big corporations are coming your way. If you live in Africa right now, you can basically be working with Twitter or Google or Facebook. Those are some of the biggest brands in the world. So if you would consider those skills of the future based on your interest and experience and skills, you can begin to target some of these big corporations, even remotely. And let me tell you also, they don't have to be some of the biggest brands. There are a lot of other SMEs, small, medium enterprise who also offer you opportunity to explore career opportunities in the area that you're interested in with your language skill. So some of the companies that I know very well who don't take language professional for granted would be like Google, Facebook, Twitter, HubSpot, LinkedIn, for example. So many techs and startups who have businesses or who provide services or products in the European and Middle East or the Latin America, they need someone with language skill. And as a recruiter, every time that I'm looking for people to hire, even if you don't have all the skills and experience, but you have the language and you are fluent, we tend to consider you because obviously you can learn processes, you can learn systems, you can learn how the organization works, you can blend into the culture of the organization. Your language is hotcake, if I can put it that way. So if you have language skill in the marketplace, in the work of world, you have the opportunity to actually succeed as a career professional who also happens to be bilingual. So if you're not able to get into any of these corporations for one reason or the other, there's also the option to freelance, freelancing on platforms like Fiverr. Like I said, if you really polish your skills, if you make it up to industry standard. So for example, if you offer digital content creation using your French, yeah, you can get on platforms like Fiverr to do translation for people who don't understand French, and you get paid cool cash in hard currency as well, which is always a great idea. And there are other platforms for freelancing which you can truly start exploring. I worked with PhD candidates. They are currently in South Africa, but they make majority of their money as a freelancer. So they offer their service on Fiverr. So you can get on that platform as well. You don't have to be out of Nigeria to start exploring career opportunities for you. If you can start practicing. If eventually you find yourself in this part of the world or anywhere else, you can begin to talk about some of the skills you've gained on your journey, even from freelancing. So every time you freelance, you are gaining experience, so it is not a waste. Every time you are volunteering, you are gaining experience, it is not a waste. Every time you contribute to an ideation or you come up with a solution for a problem, you are gaining experience, it is not a waste. So you have to recognize that, okay? Before I move on, can I get some thumbs up to say everyone can hear me and everyone is listening closely? Perfect. So I like that. Thank you so much. So now, how do you know which one to settle for? I think one of the best ways to start is to do something called skill auditing. So you audit your skills and experience. So what experience do you have? As you will see from my profile, I studied microbiology for my first degree at the University of Ibadan. And then when I came to the Republic of Ireland, I got my second degree in industrial biology with bioinformatics. This was when I thought I wanted to be a scientist. I could change the whole world, but somehow I know that I've always loved the people space, and every time that I try to do something in those areas, I don't always do well. So I had to find a place where I can use my skills and experience. So what am I saying? I'm saying that what you studied really shouldn't restrict you from being who you want to be, okay? So you can do a skill auditing. So assess your skills, some of the experience that you don't have, and if you see any gap on your skill set, compare it to the industry standard where you want to go and look for ways to gain those skills. One of the ways to gain skills would be by learning. Okay, like I shared, I've taken up to 40 certifications. At the moment, I think I may have taken about 45. So every time that I see a gap on my CV or my skills and experience, I explore learning. And learning is one of the skills of the future. You have to continually learn. If you don't know something, learn it by maybe following someone who knows it or asking someone who knows it to teach you, or explore learning through education. So those are some of the ways to gain experience or to learn something. You can also volunteer in your local church. Is an option for you, in your local primary school, your local secondary school, or in your current organization or workplace, provided you can demonstrate that you have that skill and experience. If I'm hiring, once you can demonstrate it to me, I give you the chance, especially when I know you sound like me, you look like me, you're likely to have challenges like me. I listen to your side of the story because I know exactly how it feels to be a professional who look or sound like me, how hard it can be for them in this part of the world. So, and that's why I sit in this space, to help as many people as possible, okay? Everyone has a fair chance, by the way. Everyone is assessed the same way, okay? So basically, how recruitment is done. So if you're a language professional and you're looking to explore other career opportunities, it is also important for you to understand how recruitment is done from a global HR perspective. No matter where you go in the world, especially in this part of the world, Europe, Canada, America, even in Nigeria, I think the world of HR in Nigeria is getting a lot of polish and sophistication at the moment. I do follow a couple of them online. I think they are doing a fantastic job, okay? So our recruitment works is this. Number one, you see, every organizations don't just create jobs because they just want to create jobs. So if, for example, there's a need within the business and there's someone who can resolve the problem, they will bring that person in. Okay, so if you have language skill and you also happen to have a lot of experience in software development, yeah, if the organization needs you, they will bring you on board, okay? It always helps to have that technical ability backing up your language skill, okay? So before any recruitment is done, there's something called the requisition. So the hiring manager will work with a recruiter to design a requisition or a person specification or a people specification or a job specification. I'm talking about the same thing, yeah? So they will design a job specification detailing the kind of person they are looking for that job. So they could say, we need effective communication skill. We need someone with strong teamwork, ability to work as part of a team or collaboration. We want someone with leadership skill. We want someone with maybe technical ability, and on like that. So they will design this job specification. And then once it is approved, yeah, the recruiter will then go into the market to start looking for someone who looks like that requisition. So in this case, if you are a language professional or you're bilingual and you have the other technical abilities they're looking for, they will then bring you on they will bring you on to interview you if you have applied for the job, okay? So if you've applied for the job and you have the skills and experience, they'll bring you in and then they will interview you. If at your interview, even though you have very strong language skill, but you don't have all other experience they are looking for, you are likely not to be successful. So if they are looking for maybe 10 skills and you have like 8, and you can demonstrate that, oh, with your language skill, you can still be the person who will be successful in that position, they will consider you. I will consider you, and I will fight for you with the hiring manager to say, this person just needs a break or just needs the chance. And this is where preparation meets opportunity. So if you have your language skill, which you are obviously you have already, and that's why you are here as a language professional, look for skills and experience in other areas that is exciting and interesting to you, and become an expert in that area, you will be successful if you interview for that kind of role. Yeah. Then the next stage of recruitment will be offer, where you'll be told how much you will earn. So for example, a language professional who also happens to be a recruiter could earn up to about maybe 70,000, 80,000, 90,000, 100,000 euros, depending on the kind of recruitment you're doing, especially when you are recruiting from outside the place you're in, especially Europe, Middle East, and Africa, okay? And I'll quickly touch on this. You see, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Africa really is Nigeria, is Ghana, is different parts in Africa. So if you're a language professional and you're still in Africa at the moment, I recently read a profile of a young man who is a Ghanaian, and he just joined Facebook. Even in the middle of the pandemic, he was flown all the way from Ghana to come here to the Republic of Ireland to come work for Facebook. So they have the skill, they have the experience. So consider acquiring skills and experience in your area of interest. What I mean by that is any area you're interested in, whether it's human resources, whether it is engineer, whether it's a STEM space, science, technology, engineering, and maths, or whether it's customer success. If you're a language professional, you could get opportunity to work remotely, and you could get opportunity to be sponsored to come live in different parts of the world. You just have to demonstrate that you have the skills and experience. And these opportunities do happen every day. And some people gain those opportunities by going abroad to study. And if you've finished your study, you have your language skill, you also have the opportunity to get offered some jobs based on your language skill alone. So your language skill is an asset to you. So when I went on all these popular organizations that I've just mentioned, like the Google, Facebook, Twitter, as you know, Twitter just opened in Ghana. They just launched in Ghana at about June they launched in May of 2021, right in the middle of pandemic. If you live in Nigeria, obviously you can work in Ghana. All you need to do is pack your bags and go work with Twitter in Ghana, if that's what's exciting to you, rather than be looking for opportunities to go abroad, which sometimes may not happen. You know, I'm not trying to discourage you, but I'm just saying the possibility of what could be, you know. So look into those skills and experience, research what they're looking for. As far as I know, there's a Facebook office in Victoria Island, Lagos. So use your language skill to your advantage. Is not a waste. A language professional doesn't have to be a pauper. You don't always have to just settle for less because you can't find job. There are a lot of opportunities. You just have to embrace continuous learning, and the world is your oyster. So I think that's everything from me. I could take a moment. Oh, sorry, before I round up, I went in search of all this organization, and on HubSpot, yeah, which is a tech company, I saw customer success with language skill. I saw recruiter with language skill. I saw talent sourcer with language skill. So I saw sales with language skill. I went to a couple of consulting. I saw sales manager with French. I saw content reviewer with French. I saw partner manager with French. I saw sales representative with French. So basically, there are a lot of opportunities there for you. All you have to do is research the skills and experience you need in the field of interest, okay? If you're interested in maybe software engineering, for example, research what kind of skills do you need to have to get a job as a software engineer, and continue to learn to acquire those skills, whether by paying for a course or whether by learning from people who already have the skill. it helps you to position as an expert. And the good thing is the world is so, the global world is so close right now with technology. So like I said, I could have my laptop in Nigeria and be employed in the Republic of Ireland, provided that my organization approves that I can work from Africa, I can do the same work. My husband has a colleague who is currently in India, and they are employed here in the Republic of Ireland, but they've been working in India for the past 1 year. So basically, there's opportunity to work remotely. You just have to explore, update your skills and experience, and look for those opportunities because they are out there for you. All right. Okay, that's everything from me. If there's anyone who has any question, I can quickly take them. I would hand over to Adejoke right now.
Thank you so much, Mojisola. Thank you. That was amazing. Please, if you enjoyed that session, can you please give a comment in the comment section? Please say something, say what you're taking away from that session. And if you have a question, we will take your questions. Please put it on the chat group. We'll take it during the panel session. We have a panel session because, you know, we have other speakers lined up. Mojisola, thank you very much because I learned a lot from that. I never tied what I do currently to customer success, but after hearing you, I'm like, oh, so that's what I've been doing in my current role. Thank you so much. And thank you for breaking it real down, telling us what recruiters are looking out for, telling us the opportunities that await us, things we can do. And I particularly like the fact that you said we should embrace continuous learning and pick one skill. Whether you want to do it free, you can volunteer, you can do internship. You know, you've made it so simple that anyone who wants to run with it can actually run with it and, you know, have success. So guys, keep the comments coming, keep your question coming as well. During the panel session, we're going to have that. And let us also say a big thank you to Mojisola as we welcome the next speaker. Thank you so much, Mojisola. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we move on quickly. We're moving on to Temitope Omotolani. Let me just introduce her. She's my sister. She's a friend as well. One of the things about her is that we grew up together, and then I'm happy at what she's doing. And I thought to myself that this webinar would not be complete without bringing her on board. Temitope Omotolani is the Chief Executive Officer of Crowdivest, an impact-driven cooperative society that creates financial solutions for a community of individuals and organizations that are committed to a long-term growth and financial freedom in alignment with the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. She's also one of the co-founders of FarmCrowdy, which she joined in 2016 due to her passion for youth involvement in agriculture. Temitope brought over 5 years of online agricultural initiatives to FarmCrowdy in a bid to redefine the perception of whom a farmer really is in Nigeria and to create a social movement in Nigeria agriculture space. As the Chief Operations Officer for FarmCrowdy, she coordinated all farm operations across 14 states with over 25,000 farmers. Temitope founded her first startup when she was 16 called Gifted Hands, a makeup business that she ran for 10 years. At 19, she founded a cleaning service company known as Fini Enterprises. In 2012, she built a product that focused on the buying and selling of agricultural produce from the rural areas and sold to the urban parts of the city of Lagos with over 18 million people through offline crowdfunding. It was called Ojawara. Temitope has a BSc in economics from Unilag, University of Lagos. She's also an alumni of Lagos Business School and Faith Foundation's Aspiring Entrepreneurship Program. She's an ardent believer in entrepreneurship as the most sustainable way to eradicate poverty in Africa. Temitope loves traveling, good music, strategy, planning, and execution. She's passionate in creating. Please kindly mute yourself. Maybe I should mute everyone. One sec. I'll mute everyone and then unmute Temitope. Okay, that is done. She's an ardent believer in entrepreneurship as the most sustainable way to eradicate poverty in Africa. She loves traveling, good music, strategy, planning, and execution. And she's passionate in creating businesses that focus on solving economic problems and adding value to community. Please let's join me to welcome Temitope while she talks about business world and a language professional. Yes, that's what I want to do. Trying to unmute her. Okay. Over to you, Temitope.
Um, good evening, everyone. It's such an honor to be here. This is why I don't like speaking.
You're on mute. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. Let me first say thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. And I want to really appreciate my sister for putting this together. It's been in the works for a while, and finally she's doing it. So I'm really, really proud of her. Well done, sis. Well, I was saying that I don't like being the second or the third or the last speaker, because it seems like the first speaker just has a way of getting through to the point, and every other person just has to catch up, which is what the first speaker has done. She's done an amazing job, excellent job. However, I'm going to just, take this from a different, perspective, being a business person myself. And I just want to challenge a lot of people in the room. I know that probably a lot of us here I don't know if we have business owners here. Maybe you can raise your hands. You're a business person, or you intend to start your own business. So I would know my audience a bit. Just raise your hands wherever you are, trying to sieve through business owners, or you're trying to start a business. Okay, I see you, Kolade, Ejiro, Chris. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Okay, so I understand. So let me just talk from a business perspective. I believe that the first speaker did justice from the HR perspective, if you're trying to get a job and all of that. I'll give you a short story about the importance of learning other business. I remember one time I decided to start a farm in Jos, and my partner at the time in Jos was an Hausa man, and he spoke Hausa, and I spoke just Yoruba and English. So the farm was in Jos, I was in Lagos. So every time I have to talk to this guy, because I don't understand Hausa and this guy doesn't understand um, English or Yoruba as well, it was a struggle, So it's more or less like I'm trying to say something and the guy is saying something else. Eventually the business crashed and I lost a lot of money because one, there was a major barrier in communication. So for me, let me establish the fact that you can speak multiple languages, it's a huge advantage. And a lot of business owners are looking for people like you. And if you run your own business, oh, well and good. Because what you do for a lot of this organization is that you are able to bridge a major gap. That's the communication gap between maybe client and the users, or the client or the customers and the business, or between investors and the business. You are a very integral part of any business. I know some people go to school, and when you hear I'm going to school to study, okay, Sister Joke also studied French. I remember when I heard that she was going to school to study French, I didn't understand it. Like, how do you go to school to study French? How do you make money out of it? But after many years and thinking about it right now, I can see the advantage of that. But at the same time, I'm going to point out some disadvantage if you do not pay attention. So I'm saying this to boost your morale, that you are needed, especially if you find yourself in the right organization. You are needed and an integral part of that business, because you are the link between investors and the business, or customers and the business. Let me put it this way: you are the money person. You are the one that brings money, and then you open doors to diverse what's it called, other countries and other people and all of that. like I said, I lost a lot of money from that transaction, all because I couldn't speak the language, and I didn't deem it fit to get somebody that could speak the language, that would stand as a middle person between myself and my partner. And a business that could have been a maybe a very, very prosperous or a productive business, I had to cut off the business because it wasn't just making sense, at the time. So let me say this. A lot of people believe that I speak multiple language, but what you are missing out on is you don't have the needed skill. Because you went to school to study French does not mean that you should not pick up other skill. Because, for example, if I want to hire someone in my organization, I will not just hire you because your CV says I speak French. I'm looking for someone that can do probably finance, someone that can do um, graphics, or maybe someone that can do business development, HR. So it's not enough just to learn a language. I believe you should add extra skills that then make you a force to reckon with. Because when someone says, I'm trying to apply to you, except it's an organization where maybe all we are doing there is we are looking for interpreters or something, maybe I would understand. And then it limits your chances to opportunities if that is all you can do. Learn a language, or all you can do is, all your skill is I speak multiple language, I'm bilingual, or I have access to these things. If that is all you know how to do, it limits your ability to expand and grow into other things. But when you add skill to it, where you are like, I speak multiple language, but I am also in this field, I'm also in this sector, you broaden your chance to be able to do a lot of things. And at the same time, when I see your CV and that says, oh, I am I don't know, a graphics person, or I'm speaking of graphics maybe because I'm in the tech world, I'm a finance person, or I'm a web designer or web developer. And then I now see that, oh, I speak French, or I speak Spanish, or I speak Hausa, or I speak additional language. For me, I see you as a major advantage, because I'm not just bringing on board someone that has this skill, but I'm also bringing on board someone that can be an additional advantage to my business. So my first point to everyone here is that don't just sit and say, I speak multiple language. What are the skills that you have? And now when I say skills, your skills also needs to, I love what the first speaker said when she said, you have to keep developing yourself, continuous learning. There are some skills that would fizzle out after a while. That's the truth. I can't remember the last time I went into the bank to collect money. I'd rather maybe do transfer on my phone, or, and all of that. So it means that the role of cashiers and stuff are beginning to fizzle out. Before you know it, we are going to start having a lot of new banks where we don't have to have physical banks for businesses to be done. Banks are going to be online. That's the future. So imagine if I now go and up my skill in maybe how to count money or something, I would become irrelevant after a while. So it's very important that when you are picking up skills, you are looking at skills that are very relevant as the world is growing. Because the truth is, we are in like a microwave age. That's what I call it. Everybody wants things fast, quick, easy, like you want to move. I don't want to go to the bank and stand on the queue for hours when I can just pick up my phone and do all the transactions that I need to do. So it's very important that as you are picking up skills, you are adding relevant skills to whatever it is you are doing. Don't go and start learning. I'm trying to look for examples to use. When after 2-3 years, those jobs are not going to be available. Always update yourself on the future of work. Look at it. If you check Google will tell you jobs that are going to be relevant in the next 5 years or in the next 10 years. If you check as well, it will let you know jobs that will not be relevant again in the next 5 years, because nobody is demanding for those things. So it's very important that you up your skill in relevant spaces, you keep learning, is very, very good. Now, as a business person as well, what will make me pick someone that speaks multiple languages, especially languages that I know that, okay, if you are considering expansion into another country, this person can go forward to, create relationships on our behalf, is because that person, beyond the skill that they put to the organization, there's an added advantage, the fact that they speak another language. So for example, now we are considering expansion into other francophone countries. Now, if I get someone that says, I'm a finance person and I can speak 3, 4 other languages, I can speak French, I can speak Spanish, you become hot cake. Because when I'm thinking of expansion plan, I'm thinking about you, because you are like the builder of bridge. You are the one that builds that bridge between the business and the next level that we are trying to expand to. So that's another advantage that you think about. Businesses considering expansion into other countries, instead of going there to look for an interpreter that does not even understand the culture or the nature of the business we are trying to do, I'd rather work with somebody in-house that already knows the business and can properly interpret it, and also get the right people on board when we get to the country that we are looking at. So you are a hot cake, you are a major advantage to the business sector. So now, I also want to speak from a point of you starting your own business as well. I know that, yes, there's also that mindset of, oh, all I have is, or all I studied is this course. How can I start a business? How can I do this and that? The restrictions and all of that. But I want to challenge, everyone in here today that my story is very interesting. A couple of people here knows my story. I wrote JAM 7 times. For those that know what JAM is, I wrote JAM 7 times. And while I was writing JAM, it was an opportunity for me to start business. I started learning makeup, and from there I started doing my makeup and all of that. And then from there, I started my cleaning business, to the foodstuff logistics business, to agriculture, to now fintech. But if you ask me what I studied in school, I studied economics. If you know me well as well, you know that I went to school, but I did not really go to school because let me not go to that part of the story. But one thing I've always done is that when I believe that there is value to be added or something that I can do, I go all out to do it. I do not let my degree, my certificate, what I have or what I don't have, to be a limiting factor to whatever it is I decide to be. So I've heard people say, and this is from experience, when someone says, oh, all I studied is just Spanish, how will I start business? How will I jump into a new field or a new sector? How will I navigate my way and all of that? All I'm saying to you is that if you set your mind to it and you are open enough to be willing to learn, you'll be able to achieve the impossible. So do not let that so-called certificate or degree be a limiting factor for you. The fact that you even speak other languages is an advantage already for you to even start a business if you are considering one. But then you have to be able to pick up yourself and say, number one, I have a value that I need to add to people. Number two is that I'm going to put in the work and the dedication required, for me to be able to push this business to the next level. Number three is that you identify your strengths, that these are my strengths. I can speak this language. I can meet with people easily. I can relate with other people. I can do this. And then you put it as an added advantage for what it is you want to do. So it's, again, that's why I'm saying that for those that are here, that you're already doing your business and you speak multiple languages, well done. But for those that are here that you have made that language a barrier, and you're like, oh, I've been trying to get a job, I've not been able to get a job, and then you're targeting the big businesses, but nobody is looking in your direction. The question is, probably it's time for you to dust your own certificate and say, okay, what value can I create in my own space, and you start your own business. The other thing I want to say is that there are businesses for bilingual people that you can consider. There is the travel industry. I have someone that is running her own business in the travel industry, and she really got frustrated because she thought, okay, she actually speaks 3 different language. She speaks French, Spanish, and one of that, I think Chinese or something. And she was also trying to get a job. She's been submitting her certificate, and she wasn't, nothing was forthcoming from it. And she thought that, okay, when people travel to different places, one of the issues that they have is first maybe language barrier and all of that. That, okay, I speak this language, why not start a business in this area? And then she started a travel business where she's able to gather people to travel in groups. So that even makes it cheaper. So that's the value she's adding, that they're traveling in groups. And then she started that business. And what then happened is that because of the added advantage, when she started by herself. So sometimes she has to travel with these travel groups. And then when they want to negotiate or they want to buy stuff, so she's also working as the interpreter. So what she did was that she also packaged some charges, for the business, where she says, okay, you're going to get an interpreter that will go with you. And then one major, what's it called? One major unique selling point that she was able to unlock was for people that travel to the likes of Turkey, China, and all of that to buy things. People travel to those places to bring things to Nigeria, and they don't understand those languages. So she started charging extra for those kind of people, because she's the one that then goes into the market and sit down with the merchant, and she's negotiating on behalf of our clients because she understands the language. And language language breaks barriers. Imagine if you go to a country, let me say, for example, imagine you go to maybe China, and you're a Yoruba person, and you just see somebody, a Chinese, that says ekaro or ekason or baoni. The first thing that happens to you is that you let, as in your guards, just, you calm yourself, like, hey, I'm not alone. There are people here that knows me and understand where I'm coming from. And that's what she was able to do. So when she goes to those markets, and then those people feel that, Nigerian people are here, they don't understand what we are saying, so we can, be able to scatter everything. And this, my friend, just comes up and starts speaking their language, and all of that. And people started getting better deals because of that. So she packaged that into her business. And she would say, if you are traveling for business and you need an interpreter or a negotiator, she picked that up, and she was charging extra, and she was making silly money for it. And this is someone that sat home for over 7 years trying to get a job from multinationals. She has sent certificates, she has done different exams, she has done everything. Like, she has pushed, she has prayed, she has fasted, but it was not working. But instead of sitting, she looked at the advantage that this business could create, starting her own business could create, and she took advantage of it. There are also things like even finance. There's one thing about being a negotiator. Sometimes in our own industry, tech space, we are always looking for the likes of investors that are going to invest into our businesses. But then they do not understand is that they don't even understand our nation, they don't understand our culture, and then there's now the language barrier. I've been in meetings where we had some Chinese and some Japanese. They came to the office. They were trying to invest in one of our businesses at the time. We did not know that when they want to, there's a way they greet, that they bow. When you give them tea, there's a way they, do all of those things and all of that. We didn't know. And we flouted a lot of rules that day. And unfortunately, they were not forgiving, because they wrote back to us to say that due to the culture barrier and the fact that we had not, what's the word now, prepared ourselves ahead to understand their own culture, there is no point for them to give us money. You know, so people make interesting decisions, and you're like, okay, how did we get here? But that was how we lost the money, because we didn't understand their culture. So they brought something, they brought us gifts. We didn't know we were meant to give them gifts back. Like different things happened and all of that, and we lost that, you know. But imagine if you had hired a negotiator that would sit in that meeting, that understood their culture. That person would have prepared us ahead of time and say, okay, this is what you do, this is what you say. When they say this is how you respond, let me handle the negotiations. I feel that in the finance space, or even beyond the finance space, everybody is trying to raise money for their businesses. And unfortunately, this is a good place to say, unfortunately, business owners in Nigeria, we have to depend a lot on international funds for us to be able to scale our businesses, because a lot of Nigerian philanthropists, or the so-called rich people, don't understand business investments. So we would rather go to other countries, China, Japan, and all of these countries, to go and bring money. And it's even cheaper, Dubai and the likes. You get these funds at a cheaper rate. But then you also want to understand or know that when they are giving you funds, it's into a friendly hand. So if you are someone here that speaks this language, you may need to go and brush your skills around finance and sit down as negotiators and go to the likes of Chinese and say, I have businesses in Nigeria that are trying to raise money and all of that and all of that. You understand their terms. You come to Nigeria as well. You train people and say, okay, I'm going to get these investors. I'm going to bring them, and you make your money out of it. There are people that are doing it. I've seen one or two that I've met in this my field, where the person says, I'm a negotiator, I speak this language, and that is his own unique selling point, because he can speak that language, he understands what we are saying, he understands what they are saying, he sits down in the middle and he manages those deals. And then, you know what, no matter how much you are raising, this guy charges a flat rate percentage on the total amount you raise. He doesn't care. He charges. So there is an agreement you sign up front that if I'm able to close this deal for you, I'm going to charge you this percentage, and we pay the guy. That's it. That's what he does for a living. He was able to take that language and use it as a part tool for him to move his business. There are so many things, HR, fashion, and all of that. There are so many things that you just need to sit down and critically look at your business or look at your life and say, okay, I've been trying to get this job. I've been trying to, do this thing. Or maybe it can even be a side gig for you, a side also. You already have a 9 to 5 and you're looking for, another source of income that you can sit down and consider and say, okay, I can do this on the side. I can be a negotiator. I can, partner with a travel company. I can do this. I can train other people as well. You can start your own school where you're training other people. You don't have to build this school anyways. The online market is a global market now. You can do so many things and all of that. And you don't have to wait and keep waiting because the feedback I keep getting from language professionals is getting a job in this part of the world is very difficult. But I'm like, it doesn't have to be difficult if you are able to think holistically and say, okay, there are problems here. How can I, put in my own skill to be able to solve this problem? The last thing I'm going to say is that do not overemphasize the power of networking. I know one thing that Adejoke is also trying to do is to create a networking platform where people that speak different languages can come together and, they're able to get opportunities, when there's a job opportunity or when there's a training or organized stuff. She's trying to create a community for different people that can be in this space. So my point is that you cannot overemphasize the power of networking, because it gives you access to a lot of things. You hear people discussing problems. Don't go there and just, okay. Don't go to a networking event and just go there to eat and drink and laugh and all of that. No, go there to listen. Listen to the problems that people are discussing, and you're asking yourself, can I solve this problem? Listen to what people are saying and pick. Look at relationships and say, okay, this relationship is needed. Let me build one around it. And all of that. Make sure that you are surrounded with people with similar issues, so that way, when solutions are being created, you are well, they can always reach out to you and call you to say, oh, there's an opportunity here, there's an opportunity there. Yes, let me round up on this note. Now, some of us, we have social media. It was the post I just saw from that made me remember. Some of us, we have social media, but what we do with our social media is to post pictures, nice pictures of our events, or talk about politics, or talk about Big Brother Nigeria and all those gist and stuff. While you can use your platform to share your story and talk about your narrative. You don't know who is watching, you don't know who is listening. Because one day somebody will remember that there's this person on social media that is always, pushing something about French or about different languages that we can connect to for a job. So use your social media as a tool to sell yourself. Don't just use it to post irrelevant things. It's very important. It's an opportunity to market yourself. It's an opportunity to push yourself. So I would encourage you, see how you can sit down, create content that will be relevant on social media and let people start seeing it. Design content. Could it be, I know there was something I saw recently, I think on Alibaba's page, where he was saying that, okay, some words, so some of these designers that we wear, some of them are maybe French or other languages. But then when we pronounce it with our own mother tongue and say Gucci, Givenchy, and all of that. But then these are what's it called now? These are languages from other countries. So the post was about how those pronunciations should be made correctly. And I was looking at it, I'm like, this is huge content. Somebody that understands this could just, all you have to do is just and say G instead of saying G or J. You know how you can make it very, very interesting and very exciting at the same time, where I'm looking forward to your post because I know that there's something about another language that I'm going to learn from you. So use your social media page as your marketplace. Don't just use it to post pictures and do stuff. Use it as a marketplace. One day, and I mean it, one day, a lot of people have, how they say some of us have entertained angels and we did not know. One day, somebody will see your content and they will need somebody to do something major or global, and they will remember your work and they say, there is this person, and they will come back to you for that opportunity. So I hope that with these few points of mine, you've been able to pick one or two things. I'm available for questions if you have any. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Temitope. Thank you. Please, can we appreciate Temitope? If you enjoyed that session, please drop a comment in the chat room and let me know what you think about the past session. I like the way this webinar is going. First, it was about getting a job. Now it's about starting your business. And thank you for those brilliant business ideas. Guys, please do not start teaching people how to pronounce, especially those of you that are French teachers, French language professionals, because I want to start doing that on social media. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have a couple of questions. I know Stephen and Lydia had asked some questions. They are noted down. During the panel session, we're going to be taking your questions. I just want us to get right away. Please, before we go on, I want to find out how we're feeling this webinar. Is it helpful? Are we meeting your expectations? Let me take a few comments before we go on. If this webinar is meeting your expectations, let me know. Let me know what you think about it up until this point. And please do not go away. If you wait till the end, we have a gift for people that will wait till the end. And like she talked about the networking, the platform we are trying to create, the community, that is, we're going to share all that at the end because there's a lot to discuss. There's a lot to discuss. So I'm going to move on to our third speaker. Is somebody a lot of us that studied in Nigeria University know very well. Dr. Segun Afolabi. I have the honor to welcome him. It's such a delight to have Dr. Segun here because I remember in French Village, and Dr. Segun doesn't know this, he led me to Christ. That's number one thing. That's the number one thing Dr. Segun did for me. And apart from that, he was one of the lecturers that in Village Francais, he was just outstanding. He was always there. And after Village, I had met him online a couple of times. I remember when I was having issues, I had not done my master's, I was clueless, I didn't know what to do. I chatted him up on LinkedIn and he has been helpful since then. This is somebody that we only met sometime in 2005 and he has really, I kept in touch and he has been very helpful. Today, Dr. Segun Afolabi is a multilingual communication expert based in Canada. He's a translator, he's an interpreter, he's a researcher, he's a consultant, he's a trainer, he's an adjunct professor for University of Massachusetts in Amherst. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that well, it's not my fault. And then he's the co-editor for Pan-African Journal of Translation and Interpretation. Dr. Segun would be taking us through opportunities for foreign language speakers in a diverse world. Guys, if you know Dr. Segun, I want us to, let us throw some balls in the chat room and give him a warm welcome. Doctor, you are welcome, sir. Thank you for honoring the invitation. Okay, let me unmute you, sir. Okay, you can unmute now.
Great. Thank you very much. Good day, everyone, first and foremost. And thank you very much, Joke. It's really a pleasure being with you and being part of this awesome event. I'm sorry I came late. Apologies again. It's Sunday, and because of the time zone difference, right now, by the time you were starting was when we were just starting our church service. And I had to be there, and I'm glad that I came, though late, but still met a very good part of the first speaker's marvelous presentation, and I was able to get the second speaker too. Well, thank you again, Joke, for the generous introduction. To God be all the glory. What do I say? Nothing but grace. It's all about grace. It's all about grace. Without much ado, we quickly go to the business of the day. And Joke, could you please permit me to share my screen? I have a couple of slides I would like to share with our friends. So
you can share now, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'm sharing my screen. Just a minute. Good. Yeah. Okay. Do we have it now, please?
Yes, we can see.
Great, great. So, Joke, thank you once again for the invitation. In the words of is it Mr. Macaroni now? I would just say you are doing well. Permit me to borrow his voice to say you are doing well. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for having me. It's a great pleasure. Within a couple of minutes, I'll be taking us through this topic that Joke had given me to speak on, opportunities for foreign language users in a diverse world. Joke, please, apologies. I try to change foreign language speakers to foreign language users, and for a reason. The reason being that it's not every foreign language speaker that can write or read. We understand that. So I prefer to use a generic term, which is the user, which connotes ability to speak, to write, and to make use of it in a business kind of environment. So that's what the term I would prefer to use. I forgot to mention that to you earlier on. Please apologize. So there, ladies and gentlemen, the topic will be opportunities for foreign language users in a diverse world. As a matter of fact, the previous speakers, Mojisola, if I may address you that way, please, and Temitope, they did a very, very brilliant job preparing the ground. We have listened to them from the perspective of a human resources expert, from the perspective of a business tycoon. And I think it's a good wrap up here as we'll be looking at these issues from the perspective of a language professional that I am by the grace of God, and also a trainer of language professionals. In going on with this, let's look at the outline. This is the outline. We'll be looking after the introduction. We'll be looking quickly at why we need foreign languages. Then what are the opportunities that are loaded in foreign languages if we master them, and then we draw a conclusion before I make a few recommendations, which are, interestingly, I see that the recommendations are aligned with what the previous speakers have touched on. It will not be bad to repeat this because we can really not overemphasize those facts. So by way of introduction, I think I need to adjust this view so that I can just a second, please. Yeah. Okay, good now. Just a second. Yeah, by way of introduction, I love quotes so much, so I would like to share these few quotes with you. The first one says, learning another language is not only learning different words for the same things. Sorry, I think Can you still see my screen, the screen I'm sharing, please? Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can see your screen, sir.
Okay, I think there is a little problem. I am not seeing the screen. I think I have to start sharing. Okay, good. Yeah, okay, there we go. Learning another language is not only learning different words for the same things, but learning another way to think about things. That is the advantage of learning a foreign language. And I got this quote from Flora Lewis, actually from the website of the Department of French in Mala College for Women and University in India. By the way, I must acknowledge that this presentation is a revised version of a similar talk I gave to a group of French language graduates in the university in India. So I acknowledge that. And while searching to discover the audience I was going to address, that was, I think, July last year, I stumbled on this quote on the website of the university, which I love so much. Another quote I want to share is a Welsh proverb which says, you live a new life for every language you speak. If you know one language, you live only once. If you know many languages, it means you live many lives and you are exposed to different, aspects of life, different cultures. And again, as an introduction, I love to share this story that many of us are familiar with, probably. It's about Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, a former president of Nigeria that we all know as Baba Obasanjo, Baba Iyabo, anyhow. And this story is about his desire while bidding for the position of the United Nations Sixth Secretary General. That was in 1991, about 30 years ago. And it's a story that teaches us a lot of lessons even today. What happened to Baba Obasanjo then? I think it was IBB, yes, who wanted him to, to vie for this position. Though there were a lot of other reasons, political reasons, diplomatic reasons, but one of the major reasons why Baba Obasanjo could not, get that position was because of his inability to speak French, at least, to speak another foreign language. As you know, Baba, he speaks Hausa, he speaks Yoruba, he speaks Igbo, the three Nigerian languages, and of course, English, but no foreign language. And as a result of that, he couldn't make it. He lost that position to the late Gadi of Egypt, who, from what we read about him, could speak at least 5 foreign languages, including English, Arabic, and French. So we could see why it is important to have at least a foreign language. Now we move on. Why foreign languages? Learning at least one foreign language, especially French. I'll be talking about French here because I know most of us, somebody is trying to tamper with the screen. I think I will plead with that person to please stop the annotation, or if there's a way Joker can control that. So I can see that somebody is trying to do annotation on the screen that I'm sharing. Please, that person should be kind enough to stop it, please. Thank you. So I was saying learning at least one foreign language, especially French, or for example, French is a must for anyone that wants to keep his or her head high in this 21st century labor market. Mojisola mentioned that the labor market, what it looks like, and I had to add that the knowledge of the foreign language, at least, especially French. Why emphasis on French? Because I know majority of the participants are from Nigeria, right? And Nigeria is very strategic when it comes to French because, as you know, we are surrounded by Francophone countries, Benin, Cameroon, and Niger. And even we are surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean to the south. So you can imagine that if the Atlantic Ocean will speak any language, it will also be French. So that is why French is naturally imposed on Nigeria. And in addition to that, there are 6 official languages of the United Nations Organization. That is UNO. These 6 official languages are Arabic, Chinese, English, French, Russian, and Spanish. So if you want to learn any foreign language, it is good that you learn at least one of these 6. And coming back to French again, French is the second most widely learned foreign language after English. There's no doubt about that. You can Google it. And there are more than 300 million people who speak French on the 5 continents. The Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie, OIF, an international organization of French-speaking countries, comprises 88 member states and governments. And in addition to these 6 languages of the official languages of the UN that I mentioned, I would like also to add the importance of German and Portuguese, which if you want to learn any of the foreign languages. And then coming to the business of the day, what are the opportunities embedded in foreign languages? What are the opportunities? I like to say that you can get lucrative, and I mean juicy really, job opportunities, such as I try to categorize the opportunities into 2, A and B. The category A is what I call the core language professionals, because we need to be careful how we understand or define the term language professionals. It isn't everybody that speaks or writes or uses a language that is automatically a language professional. No, you should get that notion very right from the onset. Since we are looking at the global market, we are looking at the international environment, I would prefer to use United Nations as the benchmark for our discourse, which is that the United Nations Organization, UNO, consider the term language professional to cover a wide range of specialists, such as translators, interpreters, revisors, editors, terminologists, verbatim reporters, reference assistants, copy preparers or copywriters, proofreaders, production editors. These are the category of professions that the UN consider as core language professionals. We can check the reference from the website that I produced there. Then we have the second category, category B, that I called allied professionals. They are allied professionals because they have something to do one way or the other with language. And these allied professionals, they are, number 1, a teacher or a lecturer or a professor. It could be a teacher in an high school, in an elementary school, a lecturer or a college professor, a university professor, teaching one of the languages. And again, we must also understand that being a graduate of French does not make one a professional teacher. You also need to do some professional qualification to be regarded as a professional teacher or lecturer. Then we have career diplomats or ambassador, we have flight attendants and air hostess, we have international jurists and advocates that one can do, that is allied to professionals. I have 2 good examples I like to share here. Joke mentioned my sojourn in Friend Village, Nigeria, where I taught for about 15 years, from 2001 to 2015, spreading to 2018 anyway, because I was on study leave for 3-4 years before I finally disengaged. There those of us that passed through that institution will remember Barrister Fatun Washe, who was a registrar of the village for a long time. And he had his BA in French from the University of Lagos, MA in French, and he later went back to the Lagos University to get LLB. He went to the law school, and now he's a barrister. So that is an example of somebody who is a French graduate, so to say, but later diversified into another professional field and now become an international jurist or advocate. I have another example, a student, a former student, Mary Izoro, that some of us may know. She got her first BA from the University of Ibadan. She also passed to the French village. And after that, she went back to the university to study law. Now she's working with the African Union Parliament, as an international jurist. She's also on a PhD. So those are examples that I can share in terms of legal practice. Then we also have other professions like bilingual or project manager, bilingual client services advisor. I had Mojisola talk about that, which is very true. Bilingual secretary and administrator, bilingual communication specialist, and others. The screen is kind of, okay. We also have global entrepreneur, importer, exporter. That's talking about business. What Tokwe was trying to, let us understand. These are the allied professions that one can also go into with a background in foreign languages. But we must know that there's a caveat that being a graduate of a foreign language is not enough to get into these professions. As a matter of fact, as I used to tell my students, and it's funny, but it's true. I used to say it when we were in French village that you are a graduate, a BA holder in French. What profession are you really? Can you claim? Some will say a linguist. I say, no, you are not a linguist. Some will say a teacher. I say, no, those that did BA French, they are more of a teacher than BA French. So you see that you are kind of what the French people will call a cheval in between. So to add value to the BA French or MA French, if you are not going to be a teacher, and if you want to be a teacher, you also need to get professionalized in that area. You really need to diversify. It is very important. And that takes us to the next slide, which is where I say, sorry, foreign language or foreign languages is not enough. And that is a fact. It isn't enough. Mojisola, I think, mentioned that. Temitope also mentioned that. And if I am coming as a third witness to mention it, that is a fact. Bible says in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, the truth is established. So if you doubted it the first time, you doubted it the second time, now the third time, repetition is for for emphasis. Foreign language is not enough. I'm sorry to say that, but you've got something good, you need to add something to it. And this is what led me to this formula that I came up with, borrowing from the term that Joke had invited us to discuss, the future of work, which I call FOW, or FOW formula, which says E plus FL plus P stroke C plus CL equals IJO, and I break it down, where E equals English language, which we all have generally, plus FL, foreign language or foreign languages, the more you have, the better, plus P stroke C, which is professionalization stroke certification. Again, that I have a BA in French or an MA in French, it is not enough. I need to go into professionalization, do a professional course, get it certified, and belong to the professional body. Like an accountant in Nigeria will not, an accountant graduate, our accountancy graduate will not say I'm an accountant if you are not certified by ICANN. It is the same way here. So we need that professionalization and certification. And one other thing that we need in this jet age, in this internet age, is computer literacy. We cannot overemphasize that. Computer literacy, it is the word of telework. Like I think Temitope was mentioning it, or was in Mojisola, that you can work for any organization anywhere, especially that is one of the blessings in quotes of COVID-19, which has opened our eyes to see how we can successfully manage telework. Like Joke said, I'm adjunct professor, for CAT tools and for translators with the University of Massachusetts in the US. I'm based in Canada, yet I'm teaching their students there. That is the advantage of telework, and it comes with computer literacy. The totality, the combination of all this, is what we give you, what will give us what I consider as international job opportunities. So again, foreign language is not enough. French is not enough, my friends. Then I think that will be about, we come to conclusion. Okay, that was the conclusion. Then I come to the recommendations. These recommendations, incidentally, the previous speakers mentioned it, talk about networking. It is important these days, networking. Like somebody said, your network is your net worth. You cannot play down the importance of networking in this age. It is networking that brought Joker to put this together. It's networking that brought me to this platform at this time. It is networking that makes us to be here, all of us, and we need to work on it. Networking, and not just networking for immediate gain, because you may not really get immediate gain when you are networking. You are investing, you are building up a bank that will yield dividends in the future. And Temitope, thank you for mentioning the importance of using the social media responsibly. You see that I had that in mind as well, because a lot of us, what do we do on social media? We shop. I bought a new car. Oh, I got a new house. Oh, I got a new this and new that. So Facebook, with somebody sometimes referred to as fake book, because a lot of things that go on there are fake, not reality. But there is a social media network that I would strongly recommend to everybody, which is LinkedIn. LinkedIn. That was where, after Tokel left the village, she was able to hook up with me on LinkedIn. So are you linked on LinkedIn? Are you linked? If you don't have a LinkedIn account, I challenge you today after this section, after this webinar, please get one. It's free. And make sure you put contents that are qualitative, contents that are professional, not just social things on LinkedIn. I recommend that. And then I recommend that you don't rest. Rest not on your words. No matter what you have achieved today, no matter the height you have reached, that is not the best is yet to come. If I rest, I rust. I got that said by someone, a former student in the village, and it has stayed with me since then. Lee Joey is his name. He was, I think, teaching in the fellowship, and used that. If I rest, I rust, and that is true. If a cutlass or a knife that is not used, that is resting, it will rust. And then finally, learning never ends. You see, the previous speakers mentioned these 3 points. So it's not new, but it's important that we echo it, we emphasize it, that learning never ends. We must keep learning. We must keep acquiring new skills. As a matter of fact, we must learn and relearn some old things that we have learned before that we thought were the end of the world. But no, the world has moved beyond that. So we must relearn and unlearn. And on that note, I think I will also share this final quote, which I got. The author is unknown. If you are not willing to learn, no one can help you. No doubt about that. But if you are determined to learn, no one can stop you. So keep learning, keep on learning, and keep learning. And then final slide, I come to the end of this short presentation. And since we are talking about foreign languages, I crave your indulgence to speak in tongues, if you like, by saying thank you in English, merci beaucoup in French, obrigado in Portuguese, gracias in Spanish, danke in German, and shukran in Arabic language. Thank you very much. I hope I didn't waste your time. I hope you got some quality stuff from it. Thank you, and God bless you. I wish you good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. We were able to speak in tongues. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that amazing session. Please, I want us to show appreciation to Prof. If you learned anything in that session, please, show appreciation. When Prof started and he said, I want to share my screen, I say, lecturers, how we know professors. But, it was really good because I was able to take a screenshot. What I love most about his session was that formula. If you did not get anything in this and you did not take a screenshot of that formula, you will have to pay me to share it with you. That formula is everything because it actually breaks down everything we've been talking about all day. Thank you everyone for your time to all this while. I am so grateful. Please do not go yet. This is the part you have been waiting for, open mic, where you can ask questions. And so we're going to start our panel session. Initially, I was very afraid that we would not meet up to time, but we are just right on time. We're starting our panel session. And before we start our panel session, I'm going to be introducing 2 other panelists who we have not met. And we'll just start the panel session right from there. So I'll be introducing Idevo, I'll be introducing Jumoke. So let's meet Idevo. She's a seasoned human resource management specialist and business leader with over 2 decades of professional experience in driving business growth and expansion by providing expert leadership in strategic human resource management, performance improvement management, and successfully oversaw the management of full cycle human resource projects, which improved business and personnel performance. Renowned for driving the human resource management of IBM West Africa across Middle East and African countries, while ensuring the delivery and contribution of group and regional objectives. Our over 2 decades of professional experience has been with multinational organizations, MTN, Airtel, and currently IBM. So for those of you that are looking for work in IBM, please listen to her. She currently works in IBM as a human resource partner. She holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Computer Science from University of Ilorin in Nigeria and a master's degree in project management from University of Liverpool in the UK. She's an HR executive with the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria. She's blessed with 2 lovely children, and in her free time, she loves to paint, swim, cycle, and read. Please give a warm welcome to Ideation. But before she joins us, I'll quickly introduce the next panelist, and then we'll start the panel session. Our next panelist is Jumoke Akala. Francisca, I call her Jumoke, but she's also Francisca. Francisca holds a BSc degree in banking and finance from the University of Nigeria and an MBA from the University of Lagos. She has over 20 years of experience in the finance industry, having worked in the banking and financial services sector in Nigeria. She's a professional member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. Wow. We have a lot of people here. You know, when Mujisala said she had 45 certifications, I was like, Adejoke, you've not even started. Francisca's interest in languages, especially the French language, led to her being employed by an international organization, the African Petroleum Producers Organization, headquartered in Brazzaville, Republic of Congo, from 2011 to 2019, where she left as the Director of Support Services. She's currently learning Spanish after French, and is also a postgraduate student of the University of Hertfordshire, I'm not sure I pronounced it well, United Kingdom, where she's undertaking an MSc program in finance and investment banking. With joy in my heart, with so much appreciation for all our panelists and all our speakers, please let us welcome our panelists. We're going to welcome Aidevo. Please, where are you? Put on your video so I can spotlight you. Welcome. Let me pin you. All right. Thank you. You're welcome. Let me permit you to unmute. So we have Doctor as well. He's going to be part of our panelists. I'm looking for Jumoke. Please put on your video so I can spotlight you as well. So we have Temitope as well as part of the panelists. Jumoke, please, where are you? Let me search. Okay, found you. Let me, one sec. Jumoke, please, can you put on your video? Okay, found you, even though your video is not on yet. Okay, and then I will be the moderator of this session. Let me pin myself as well. Okay. This is the time to ask questions. So during the registration, we were able to ask a lot of questions. Jumoke, please kindly confirm you're there so that we can know that all our panelists are ready.
Yeah, hi, Joke, I'm here.
Okay, please, can we see your video? Can we see your face? All right. So we're just going to get right into it. We've met them, and we've met Doctor, we've met Temitope. Now it's time to meet Aidevo and Jumoke. So I'll start with Jumoke and Aidevo. So Aidevo, do you want to tell us about yourself, what you do, and we take it up from there?
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are.
Okay. So, I mean, you've already introduced me pretty much. There's really nothing much to say. I work for IBM as a human resource partner. I've been with IBM for about 10 years. And in my free time, like I said, I like to cycle, I swim, I read, and I paint. So that's pretty much in a nutshell. So I'm open to any questions you have to ask me, and I hope I have the answers. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Jumoke would like to meet you.
Okay, hello everyone. Like Joke said, I'm a chartered banker, accountant, and all that. And my coming into the language sector really was, can I say, by accident. there was this job opportunity in an international organization, and I'd always had a love for the French language. So I'd been keeping up with my French. So when the opportunity came, I got in touch with Joke, and she was my coach up to the day I went for the interview. I got the job, and honestly, it was a career change for me. It was like moving from one level to another level. From a five figures salary, I moved up to a 7-figure salary per month. And when Joke spoke about this webinar, and I mean, this is just a way to give back and tell Joke thanks for everything. Now, the speakers, the first and second speakers, and the doctor also has said practically everything. Honestly, if you have another language in your kitty, I mean, there's so many opportunities. You can get juicy job opportunities, and so I really encourage everyone out there to try as much as possible to really go into the language space. It really pays off. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jumoke. And if you permit me, she was very humble with that introduction. Can I share, Jumoke? Can I share? I want to share. I need your permission. You're on mute. Jumoke, I'm waiting because I want to share. Okay, so she was very humble about that. And the reason why I want to share a success story is just to encourage us. She was an accountant, she was chartered, and then a job opportunity came up in the oil and gas industry in Nigeria. And she came to me, she learned French, and she got that job. That job relocated her out of Nigeria. And, like she said, it changed the trajectory for her completely. And that's one of the success stories. One of the reasons I said, okay, let her be here. So that when people hear success stories, they know that, oh, not everything is possible. So we're going to start with the questions. Thank you everyone for joining. I'm going to pick the questions randomly because we have a lot of questions. Let me start with the questions. Somebody asked, said, how can we get sites that offer opportunities? That's one of the questions we had while Temitope was talking. And somebody also said platform is the same question, platforms where they can get opportunities. Temitope, do you want to share on that? Let me allow you to mute. Oh, yeah. Okay, you can unmute yourself now.
Okay, so I don't think there are specific platforms, though, but I know that Doctor spoke about LinkedIn. That's one of the platforms. And sometimes when you don't even get platforms, you can, like we say in this part of the world, shoot your shots. On LinkedIn, I get people sending me their profiles to say, oh, this is what I do. I like to intern, or this is my qualification. And I know we've hired a couple of people from that, just somebody introducing themselves and sharing their platform. So I don't know if there are specific platform, but I know LinkedIn does a great job in that space. And then shoot your shots. If you see an organization that you really like, pitch yourself to them, send them your profile, and probably something may come up. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So I want to talk to Idevo. How do we, I'm a language professional. I studied French, BA, my master's, I studied French. Now, I want to move out of teaching. I've been teaching, I'm tired of teaching. Teaching is not giving me the money I want. How do I go about it?
Okay, I muted myself. Can you hear me? Okay, so I will talk from what all our speakers have said. I mean, there's no one way to make money or get fulfilled in the world we're in right now. So this person is tired of teaching and she's looking for, I'm assuming it's a lady, she's looking for an opportunity, another opportunity. So for me, like, do up your CV, 1. 2, be on those profiles to enable you get a job, and also know what you want. What do you want to do if you don't want to teach? Are you for example, in IBM, you can work as a labor relations officer where you're relating with other countries. For me, I support 19 African countries. And you can imagine there are French-speaking countries in these 19 African countries under the MIA community. So what you need to do, know what you want to do, be on the platform. LinkedIn is a platform to be on, and also upgrade your platform. So your profile, let it be premium. So you can put in the job alerts for the profile that you want can come to you. Then also start looking your community. Who are in your network, right? Spread your CV. And I think that's the only way you can move out of the teaching line. And of course, whatever courses you need to also do to enable you to do something else. Like for example, I'll also give an example. In IBM, I think it was the first speaker that spoke about this, when you talk about analytics. You don't just, as an HR professional, you're not just pushing papers around. Things have changed. Managers are they are taught to do things themselves now. So there's little you want to do to support them. So the manager is expected to know how to use the tools. So for you as a professional as well, you have to, do the education that you need to make yourself better. And of course, analytics helps. Nobody's pushing paper around anymore. You have your Excel, the use of your Microsoft Office needs to be top notch, and your Excel, you need to improve on it. You need to move into some environment. So, like I said, you need to know what you want to move into. You don't want to teach, what do you want to do? Get on the platforms, spread your CV, and I guess the sky will be your limit if there's anything like that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll go to Jumoke. Do you think as a 40-year-old, I can start a new career, especially in the accounting or finance world?
Yes, of course. What you're saying is that as a 40-year-old, you want to start reading accounting. Is that what you mean?
Yes, please.
Yes, of course, it's possible. I mean, learning is something that is continuous. For example, my going into starting a program, the MSc Finance and Investment Banking, it's like transitioning fully into the investment banking space. And I'm over 40 right now. So there's really no limit. Learning is a continuous process. It's something that anyone can do. So far, you are determined and consistent, and you don't get discouraged when you have challenges.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that. One thing Idevo said I wanted to reiterate was clarity. And then Jumoke is also saying now that it's not too late to learn. Don't think that it is too late to learn. You can start learning at any age. I'm going to Doctor. Somebody said, do you think this language thing is not going to stop soon? Like we have people learning on Duolingo. So why do you think language professionals will still be needed in the nearest future?
All right, thank you so much again. That's a good question. My straightforward answer to that will be no, and the capital no. There is this debate, especially when you talk about translating, interpreting. There is the decade-long debate that one day translators will be out of market, interpreters will be out of market because we now have Google Translate, we now have a lot of software, that people use to translate. But the fact still remains that all these software for translation or interpreting, they cannot work on their own. They can never and never, I underline, never replace human translators or human interpreters, no matter how good they are. If you want to try it, go to your Facebook page, get one of your posts, ask Facebook to translate it into the language of your choice. You will see that it can never be accurate. Maybe to you or to a layman, let me not say to you, to a layman, you may feel that you've got a very good translation because you can read and you can understand what it's saying. But a language professional will still bring out some faults that make that make the translation incoherent or unacceptable. So language professional, since when have they been talking about this language professionals? Let's go back to history. It started from the Tower of Babel, if you remember, when God confused the language, the tongues of people who were trying to build the tower to reach God in heaven. And since then, it has never ended and it will never end. There is no way, for as long as human beings exist, languages will always be in high demand and language professionals will always be sought for. So I hope that answered the question.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much, Doctor. And someone is now asking again that why how come we don't have translation schools? Because, you know, you talked about category A language, core language professionals. In Nigeria today, we don't have translation schools, we don't have editing schools, interpretation schools, and then we are not able to, you know, become professionals or experts in those fields. How do you think we can navigate that water if we really want to be a core language professional?
Okay, good. Yeah, Joke, you've raised a very, 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 very huge problem as far as the language industry is concerned in Nigeria. My PhD thesis actually treated that issue. It was on the training of professional translators and interpreters in Nigeria. And what led me into that is because when I finished my BA in French at OAU, my MA in translation at Unilag, I wanted to proceed to a PhD in translation in Nigeria, but it wasn't possible. And that was what actually delayed my moving on to PhD. I completed the MA in 2003, graduation 2005. And you would not believe that I did not start the PhD until 2015. That was like 12 years later. My intention was to proceed immediately to a PhD in translation, not in French, but there was no university where I could do it. Even my MA translation, they refused to take it into a PhD because it was MA professional translation, and to them it's terminal in Unilag, and so it couldn't go to PhD. So that was a major problem that we have in Nigeria. But I'm glad that with my research, I was able to discover that some universities are coming up with programs to train translators and interpreters. In French Village, we need to have a postgraduate diploma in translation and interpreting. That went moribund, that died as a result of poor handling. But I think from the latest information I got from French Village, because I'm still in touch with the institution, they are trying to bring it up. So that could be an opportunity for Nigerians who want to professionalize in translation and interpreting. I also think LASU introduced a program, an MA in translation. Delta State University in Abraka also offers a good MA in translation. University of Ilorin, they used to have an MA translation, which died too, but I think they have brought it up now. A number of universities are coming up with a professional training, but you are right, the truth is not many institutions in Nigeria offer that, and that's why some of us have to look outwards. And the bad thing, or maybe a blessing in disguise, is that when people look outwards to go and get trained, it's hard for them to get back to Nigeria, you know, to give back. That is the other side of it. Don't quote me as an example. It is true that after studying in Canada, I stayed back, but I'm still very much in touch with Nigeria. I'm collaborating with a number of colleagues in Nigeria to see how we can push the issue of professional training, translation, and interpreting, you know, to push it, to raise the bar. So you're right, it's a big problem. But while that is being solved, I will encourage as many as have the means, because it takes the means, the funding. If you cannot get a scholarship, you have to pay each day for a master's or for a PhD. And if you can do it outside, why not? But I believe with what we are working on with the professional bodies, especially the newly funded Nigeria Association of Translation Studies, which I'm very much involved in, we get it done. It may take time, but we will get there. So for now, it's still a work in progress. So that is much I will say about that. Hoping you answer the question. Thank you.
Yes, you have, sir. Thank you so much for that insight, because a lot of us didn't even know that universities are coming up with translation courses. Everyone, please, if you have questions, this is the time to ask. Please drop all your questions to the chat room and then we'll pick it up from there. I'm going over to Temitope. You as a fintech person, and you have, you know, different businesses you are part of, the ones you are co-founding and the ones you work. Do you give internship opportunities? Because basically, not that language professionals don't want to work in other fields, but they don't have experience. So how can companies begin to give them internship opportunities that will get them the experience, that will get them the kind of jobs they want?
Okay, so like I said before, some people reached out on LinkedIn, and I think one person is even starting internship with us tomorrow. So We give internship opportunities, but then, like I said, when I was speaking, so if you're going to intern, for example, you won't just come and say, I speak multiple language, and because of that, would you allow me intern? There should be other skills that you have started picking up on your own. For example, the person that is joining us tomorrow, she started learning graphics by herself, and she has picked that up and all of that, and she wants to work with us for, she says, 6 months, just to brush that up and all of that. So it's easy for you to bring that kind of person on board because they have basic knowledge. The truth about internship also is that people assume that when I'm interning, nobody's going to sit down with you and be teaching you 1 + 1 = 2. Do you understand? There's also your own, there's a basic knowledge that you have that you are coming to build on. And then you as a person, your ability to also quickly learn, pick things, and you are able to, thrive by yourself is also there. So to answer your question again, yes, we give internship opportunities, but then I must see another skill beyond the fact that I speak multiple languages before, and then your skill is relevant to our field. Of course, we do that.
Thank you so much for that. Let me move to Idevo. You work in IBM, and then it's a tech company. We know that they have money. So how can I, I'm saying what I'm reading questions. What kind of skills do you require in a tech company like that? And how can I, what do I need to do to be able to work in IBM?
Okay, so to make it easy, IBM, when there's a role published, right, and a role is filled, there's a specific skill that is required for that particular role. So it's not that, oh, if I want to work in IBM, what kind of skill do I need, right? It's tailored towards the particular role that is available. So for example, my field is human resources, right? It's beyond just having the basic SHRM certification, CIPM certification to get you in. IBM is not even really big on that because IBM has its own university to train you, right? So if you're coming in as a human resource professional, what they're looking at is your years of experience, what you've done, right? And when you come in, you're expected to hit the ground running. So expect that your IT skills in terms of maneuvering to use the tools are top notch, right? Now tailoring it down to techie skills, right? I don't know if that applies to a language person. So we're not going to say everybody has to be techie to be able to join IBM. Within the HR space, so there's also opportunity to do employee or labor relations. So where you are the liaison between the employees and the labor company and IBM. So you are able to help employees navigate their way, and the company as well navigate their way through this. So it's not particularly what skill set you need. It depends on the role. So if you're doing HR, yes, you're expected to have basic HR certifications, and of course, your analytics skills have to be on top notch. Basic, your Excel basic has to be fantastic. So that one, you cannot overemphasize that. But if you're coming in as a language person, the minimum requirement that you need is know the language that is required of you. So if you're required to be a French translator or whatever, you're supposed in French-speaking countries, you're supposed to know how to speak French. Then when you come in, there's a lot that you can train on. So IBM is not an organization where we actually like stereotype you and say, oh, okay, if you're this, you can come in, if you're that, you can come in. It's a bit difficult to actually answer that question. So I don't know if I'm able to make any sense. Thank you.
Yes, it actually makes a lot of sense because it's only when they have needs for those roles that they call for it. And then if you say you're a language person, you should know your language, and then a bit of maybe like Mojisola said, like the basic tech, like work with Microsoft Office and the rest of that, you should be able to have that. Somebody's also asking, and I don't know, maybe Idevo or Temitope would like to answer this. Is there an age limit for internship?
No. IBM is an American company, so we don't even put age. So if there's a role advertised, they don't ask you what age you are.
So I agree with her. It's not about the age, it's about your either your experience or your CV or something. So nobody except some field, maybe. I know sometimes banks, they will tell you once you pass a certain age, you can't, do certain things. But for me, or for places that I think we don't, age is not a barrier. But then there's something also that we watch out for: culture fit. So let me tell you how we do recruitment in my office. First, HR meets with you to, first do the first level of interview. Then the line manager that wants to hire you then meets with you. That's the second level. Then the last level is that you have to meet with me or any of my co-founders before you can finally join the organization. And that last level, what we are looking out for is not even your experience or how well you know the job, it's culture fit. So the truth is that once you go to a certain age and you cannot also be realistic in terms of what are the culture fit in this kind of, what's it called? So for example, in my office, everybody calls everybody by first name. No ma, no sir. We all sit in the same space. There's no special office for anybody. So imagine if somebody then is old and then someone calls you by your first name and you're like, how dare you? Yeah, so all of those things, all of those things are things that we are watching out for. So when I'm interviewing that person, there are languages I'm looking out for. I'm asking you, what do you do for you? So my questions, you just be wondering like, why is she asking me this kind of question? Because I'm just looking at, okay, the kind of people that I already have in the organization. When you come with your own, culture, are you going to be able to properly fit into it? So for us, we don't look at age, but when your age now becomes a barrier in terms of you're not able to fit into the culture, then unfortunately, we may not be able to take you on board.
Thank you so much, Temitope. And thank you, Mojisola. Mojisola agreed to be on the panel as well. I want you to share on this, Mojisola. Can you give us tips on how to fit culturally? Because this culture fit Temitope just made mention. I know it's a big deal because I'm no longer in education. I'm in client success career path now. So I don't know if Mojisola can just share a bit more, because you are big on career coaching, on being being culturally fit for a particular role.
Oh, all right, I can share to that. I think one of the best ways to understand the culture of any organization is to explore their website. If you go on the website of IBM, for example, you will see their values, you will see their culture, you will see what they stand for as an organization. And one of the things that I always say to people, especially people who are so searching, is that let your own values align to the culture of the organization you want to work for. So my newest organization that I've just joined in June 2021, the only reason why I chose that organization over Twitter, LinkedIn, EY, some of the biggest brands in the world, is the culture. So there was a clear demonstration of their diversity and inclusion program, which is very important to me as a Black person in the corporate Irish world, where there's a lot of discrimination and racism. So you can understand a company's culture by visiting their website. Another way is for you to chat with people who already work within the organization. Ask questions. What is it like here? I know that Tokwe was sharing a little bit about some Chinese people who came to their organization. Definitely there will be cultural conflict, almost inevitable, but I believe everybody can learn culture. You can learn new ways of doing things. Back in Nigeria, you really don't address people as much by their name, especially if they're older than you. So you see professor now, you'll be in class teaching John, Henry, Mark, and Lisa, and they'll be calling you Shago. So the culture is there. So you can actually, you can learn culture, you can embrace newness, and you can adapt to it. So I think those would be the best ways to learn culture.
Thank you so much, Mojisola. I'll go to Jumoke. Jumoke, what actually prepared you for that role? You know, from being someone that, you know, you had an accounting background, then you went to learn French. I'm sure it's not just those two things that got you the job. What were the other things that you did during the interview, or did you network? How did you land the job?
Honestly, I'd always had a love for French, and I was actually very good in French. And I'd always, when I was in secondary school, I thought I was going to become a diplomat, but somehow I ended up being an accountant. Well, I still love being an accountant. But the thing about that job was that when I got to Brazzaville, you know, and I was the youngest person that went for that interview, and people were from other countries. I was representing Nigeria, and I didn't want to let Nigeria down. So that was my main motive. I didn't even know what the salary was like or anything. So I just went with that thing that I have to represent my country. I have to do my best. I can't go back and tell them that I failed. So somehow I got the job and all that. But then during the job, there was something that happened, was that in that country, in my office, I was the only person that could speak English. So everybody was like, anything I said was like the most important thing. So a contract that was for 3 years ended up being for 6 years, and then 8.5 years, because I was relevant, you know, till I left. And when I left on my own terms. So I don't know if that answered the question to an extent, but my main motive then was Nigeria chose me, and Nigeria was looking for a chartered accountant that could speak French. At that moment, there was nobody. I saw the advert in the newspaper and I applied, and I was chosen. No connections, nothing. Just a call. You've been chosen to represent Nigeria. I was like, oh, I'm an ambassador for my country. I was trying my best to make sure that I don't let my country down. That was just it. All the other things that came up after, the benefits, the networking, that I'm still using till today, because I was traveling to different countries, meeting people from different countries. I still use those contacts now for my business. You know, I connect companies from different countries, most of them on the African continent. And all these connections, I got them through networking on my job, on my previous job. So I don't know, Joke, that answered your question, but just know that this language thing is something that nobody should take easy. You should be very serious about it and learn something else, you know. Thanks. Have I answered your question, Joke?
Yes. Someone says, I'm learning database, my SQL and other web developing languages on We3 School, but I don't know how to acquire experience to foster my knowledge. What can I do, please? I don't know who wants to take that question. Moji or Haidebo, would you like to answer that question?
I think we touched on that earlier on. And like I said, you see, I know Nigeria at the moment is not offering so many talented people the opportunities to grow and learn. I know that Professor touched on it, everybody touched on it. If you get on, start networking. Networking will carry you through life. So you really don't have to know anyone who can help you. However, you can avail of the platforms available to you. Get on LinkedIn, connect with people. You can find opportunities on Instagram. Just follow the right people. And I like the way Tokwe said it. Rather than use your social media to just socialize and post nice pictures when you make new hair, connect with the right people who can add value to you. Connect. Professor said that Adejoke connected to me on LinkedIn even after she left French Village. That is how the world go around. I joined Adejoke's class because I know someone, and Adejoke reached out to me for this program. So it's still networking. So networking will carry you through life, and also seek to volunteer. I also see people telling me, if I'm doing internship and I don't get paid, that's like they're using me. I'm telling you, they're not using you, they're actually helping you. When I was going to switch to human resources, I was holding my job down as a customer service administration manager, and I was doing end-to-end human resources functions as well. That really skyrocketed my career. I worked for it, And now I name my terms. So you just have to look for those opportunities somehow. I wonder if someone else wants to jump in there.
Yeah, I saw Tokwe saying she was nodding her head about the volunteering. And please go ahead.
Yes, I really like the point she landed on concerning, can you hear me?
Yes.
Concerning internship and doing things for free. So people want to start today and then you want to start charging people a lot of money for something that you are still learning. I find that really ridiculous. It's very important that you learn as in, I can't overemphasize volunteering. And I also know that for the tech guys, there are platforms or events that you can attend where you meet other people in terms of, okay, there's an event here, maybe they have a lot of events that they do. I know a lot of people in my office that attend these different things. They have group chats, they have communities where they belong to. So you may have to start identifying those communities online where you can join or meet with people and then go and volunteer for free. Because by the time you learn, you're not just learning you are learning the applicable part of the business. You're not just learning the theory part and all that. You learn the practical, you learn the useful ones, you learn what the business needs. That's the advantage that people get when they intern. But then I remember someone that said she wanted to intern with us, and the HR just said, okay, so what's she looking at in terms of take home and stuff? And the lady was like, well, 250,000. I'm like, oh my God, you would have told us that, you are looking for a full-time job. Because if you are interning and then you are giving me 250,000 as your internship salary, as your take home, then I'm like, girl, you're joking. And then she was like, that's a base that if nobody's going to pay her, that she can't take the job. And I think for me, it was even the attitude. I just told HR that, what, just shut this down. This girl is not ready to do anything. So see your internship as school, like you're going back to school. Nobody pays you to go to school. So don't see internship as a job where you feel entitled that have to be paid, my worth. They will not pay you your worth in internship. But what I can bet that you can do differently is make sure that you use your internship as an opportunity. If it's an organization you would like to stay back in, use that internship as an opportunity to prove your worth. Now, when you are done, they would give you a better offer, or HR can say, we've seen how much you've added value to this business. Then let's make you a real offer. Then you can say, this is my worth, pay me this. So don't just go to intern and I'm just here passing time. Use that as an opportunity to prove your worth. If that organization would not take you, they can even write a recommendation for you to the next organization that you're going to be in because of the quality of work that you put in. So it's school. Internship is school. It's not a marketplace for you to get your worth paid.
Thank you.
Yes,
this goes to Doctor. Someone says, I have MA in French studies, and I did, one of my courses was translation. Can that permit me to do a PhD in translation?
Okay, thank you very much. Good question there. My friend, the truth is, I know, let me come from the general, the broad background. I know that a lot of us graduates of French, for instance, in Nigeria, we automatically claim the title of I'm a professional translator. But that is not true. That's not true because you haven't been certified. You haven't gone through a professional training. That I did FLV 302 or so translation, and then 306 advanced translation during my year abroad in French Village does not qualify me to be a translator. And by the way, I must say that the translation we are learning there in our FLV translation courses and even the FRN translation courses in the university, they are what we call pedagogical translation, not professional translation. They are translation as a means of learning a foreign language. So that does not qualify me as a professional though I may discover the skill, I may discover the interest, but I need to develop it. That's a different from, there's a stage from discovery and development. Now, coming to the question of having a BMA in French studies and having done 1 or 2 courses in translation, if universities abroad will admit me to a PhD, no, that is a categorical no. In my university, Laval University here, for instance, to do a PhD in translation, you must have earned an MA in translation, physically. MA in French studies generally, you can go and do PhD in linguistics or pedagogy. And to go and do a PhD in translation with an MA in French studies in Nigerian university, that is a categorical no too. Of course, there is really no universities today where they do professional PhD in translation. There are some that are doing PhD in translation, whereby you maybe translate a book or treat a theory, an area of the theoretical approaches to translation studies. There are some universities, UNN does that, Abraca does that too. But you cannot go and do a PhD in translation, professional translation with an MA in French. I hope that answered the question. If not, I can't.
Yes, it does. It does. Very much, because I knew the answer, but I just wanted the person to hear from you. I'm going back to Mojisola. While you were speaking, you talked about skills auditing, that we needed to audit our skills. So I've been teaching for years. Now I want to switch. How do I audit my skill to get to maybe to the big corporate world or business world to start to do something?
Okay, I can speak to that. I think that it's always best to start from something called the transferable skills, okay? Even as a teacher, you gain a whole lot of skills and experience on your role as a teacher. So for example, stakeholder management, relationship building, effective communication, tone of voice, pace, active listening, verbal communication, and written communication. I've mentioned 3 skills there. Then also leadership is a skill you would have gained from teaching as well. Another thing I think you would have gained also would be time management, organizational skill. This, from teaching alone, you would have at about a minimum of 10 skills that you can transfer into a different area of business. So, and every business function has an element of customer service, whether you're an engineer or a college professor or an HR professional, there's an element of people in everything that every function caters to within the business. So if you're an engineer, for example, you work within a team. So you have to be able to get along with your team. So those skills you've acquired or gained over the years in your teaching function can carry you into a different profession. So when it comes to skills auditing, some of the skills that you've gained, you can simply research the area of business you want to go into. So for example, you've been a teacher now and you want to be a client service advisor, or you want to be a relationship manager. Get a job specification, a person specification for that job, and see the skills that you have already and the ones that you don't have. The ones that you have, list them on your CV extensively, saying how you gained them or how you acquired them or how you put them to use on a day-to-day basis. And the ones that you don't have, you can actually learn by taking courses. While that will be practical, it's still very relevant to some extent. Another way is for you to volunteer. I always go back to volunteering. Volunteer. If you want to gain a skill in an area, you can basically spend 2 months, 3 months in a space where you can gain that experience. So get a requisition for the area of business you want to venture into. Check the requirement for that role and see what you have. The ones you don't have, you can gain them through learning or shadowing other people or some sort of training, volunteering, internship, and that's really how to do it. And in the work world, I have to tell you, nobody has all the skills and experience, really. When you start a new job, there's no way you won't get some sort of training. I always say, if you have to have up to 7/10 of the skills required on a requisition, apply for that role. Apply. A lot of times, recruiters, I've been a recruiter, I don't always look for 10/10 skills sets. I always look for drive, enthusiasm, energy. I also look at the presentation of this person's CV, how you tell your story, how you position yourself online. All these things come into play. It's a total package. Then with your language skill, highlight it on your CV. Talk about it on your LinkedIn profile. People are looking for someone like you. So I think I would let someone else jump in there if they want to, and I hope I answered that question.
Yes, you did. I even wanted to share. Please go ahead.
Okay, so we're talking about skills acquisition. And I think one of the ways people can actually acquire skill is look for the platform that is relevant to the skill that they want to acquire. So with IBM, there's something called Digital Nation Africa. I could share the link with you, Madam Weibo, after this session, where it's technical skills that people can acquire for free, right? And that will make you job ready. But at the same time, like it's been mentioned, with if you want to acquire a new skill, you can learn by doing as well. So find the place where the skill that you want to learn is being offered and do it pro bono. Don't want to collect money for doing the job as an intern. And if you're paid something, then yeah, nice. But if nothing is given, I think it's an opportunity to even get your foot in the door, you know, to be able to learn what you want to learn for free. So that's the little I can add from my side.
Thank you. Temitope wants to add something there.
Okay, so I don't know what kind of teacher this person is. If the person is teaching a secondary school, or I don't know, or maybe teaching professionals how to, learn this language. But if you have been a teacher that has helped a lot of professionals, I think it's a good place to start. All your students, well, if you have been a good teacher, all your students that you've taught, except you have been a terrible teacher, I feel that if you have developed a good relationship with them, and based on even the skill set that was listed by Madam Moji, in terms of what you have learned, leadership, verbal communication, listening, and all of that. So all the people that you have taught, and they know that you're a good teacher, when you are ready, you can share your CV with them. And because they have had that first-hand experience with you, it's easy for them to recommend you when needed. Don't lose out on that advantage. I know that when people are going for a job or something, yes, people look at your CV, which I have even stopped looking at, because CV does not mean that, hello, people have CVs now that you're wondering what's going on. You said you know this, but you know so having a gigantic or a CV does not mean that I'm looking at the person, I'm looking at how they are able to. There are so many things I'm looking out for when I'm looking at you. It's not because you know the job, because knowing the job is one leg into the business. There are other things that I'm looking out for that you may not even know that I'm looking out for. And then sometimes you feel like I'm overqualified for this job, but they didn't take me. That means that organization is looking for something beyond, what you think that you have in terms of the skill. So my advice to the teacher would be that if you have been a fantastic person, dust your CVs, all your students, reach out to them. I'm so sure, like Joke says, she was the one that helped, that trained Jumoke in terms of, I'm so sure if Joke says, I'm looking for a job, if she has been a good teacher and she sends her CV to Jumoke, Jumoke should be able to refer and say, okay, this person is a good person, I can vouch for them. So if you have been a good person with your full chest, start from your students, and I believe they'll be able to they'll be able to help you. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Dr. Please don't go anywhere yet. Somebody's asking if you'd like them to come and train your customer, your employees Chinese. That is a Chinese teacher.
No, thank you. God bless you. One thing I've noticed about language, like she said, we lived together for a very long time. She tried to teach me French. It didn't work. Like, because language, I feel you have to have interest for you to be able to pick up a language. She tried, like we arranged class to sit down here, come out to tap, it was not working. So imagine if I then hire somebody to come and train the whole organization about language. So if probably we have people that are interested, and I know Chinese is even harder than French, right? Exactly. So if you have people that that are interested, probably, but I can't make it a organizational goal that everybody must learn Chinese, because me, I'm the first I won't even learn. So if you have people that are interested, of course, we can work something out. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So we'll take just 2 more questions and then we'll stop there and move on from there. Somebody's asking that what are the international certifications that she needs to take to get international jobs? I don't know who wants to answer that. Okay, let me unmute.
I can speak to that. And I think someone has spoken on that already. I don't know what you consider international. You see, a lot of times, even when you have a lot of education, but you don't have experience. For example, I do know that Google, they would rather have you come in with some, they consider certification as 6 months work experience, Google, as an organization. So a lot of organizations don't really look at certificate or education per se. While it is required or a requirement for a job in some sectors, but a lot of times in the technology space. So for example, if you're a software developer or a software developer, if you have your portfolio of work, okay, if you present that to the hiring manager offering that or looking for a person for that job, they would value that experience more than even certificate or degree. So does that make sense? So talking about international certification, it depends on what you're looking for. International how, I think is what considering that. So I think it's best to focus on skill acquisition rather than, well, while learning is good, getting certification is good. I love certifications because it helps me to gain exposure to different things, but in theory, but in practicality, I would say focus on skills acquisition. It helps a lot.
Okay, that will be the last question. Now, I would like each of the panelists to give us a parting comment as we bring everything to a round. Please don't go yet. We still have the last thing to share with us before we move. Doctor, would you like to share anything with us?
Well, first, Joke, you are not being fair with me, I must say. Why? Because you address every other panelist, every other speaker by their first name. My name is Shego. Please, next time, take note of that. My name is Shego. Moji talks very much about culture, work culture. There is no Mr., there is no doctor, there is no professor. We are all addressed by our first name. So please take note of that. I'm Shego. Note? Yeah. Now, my parting words will be first and foremost to thank everyone that has contributed. The speakers, Moji, Tope, I won't believe I've learned so much from you guys from the perspective of human resources and business. And Jumoke, thank you. Nosa, thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you, Adejoke, for putting this great event together. I have not just come as a speaker, but also as a learner. And I can tell you that I'm going back with a very huge load of knowledge, of skills, soft skills, I mean, that I've acquired. So thank you. To our participants, I want to say thank you too for taking our time to be with us. And I hope that it's not been a wasted time, and it's been a value added time to you guys. I will want to say something about certification. Moji answered that question very well. You see, there are two perspectives to it. In Nigeria, I know that Nigeria is a country of certificates, of paper. We recognize paper, unfortunately. But I think things are improving now. I think I had Moji say that with our collaboration with those in the human resources there, they are now shifting emphasis to skills and not papers. But what we understand is that Nigeria is generally about paper qualification. So if you want to have that certification, it is good that you have it, like Moji said, or is it NOSA now? In what field do you want it? Focus on that. You can't be a jack of all trades and master of none. You know what you want. You know what you want to become. So focus and get certified in that area. If it is in the West, the emphasis is not necessarily on paper qualification, but the skills. What do you have? What are you bringing to the table? And of course, those skills too, you don't just learn them anyhow, you learn them, through a formal process, but not necessarily with a paper. For instance, I read somewhere, or someone said, he's an immigration expert that was advising people on how to move to Canada. And he said, you don't need a PhD to be successful in Canada. And that is a fact. That is a fact. If you want to migrate, you want to come and study, you really don't need a PhD. If you want to be a PhD, you want to be a lecturer, you want to be a professor, a college professor, a university professor. But if you want to be a professional, as a matter of fact, you don't need a PhD. You may not even need a master's. All you may need is just a first degree in a professional area, a first degree that focuses on skills acquisition, not just obtaining the certificate. So we should bear that in mind. It's not about the number of papers that you have, or the skills. And when you have gotten that skill, one other thing that we encourage in terms of professionalization or certification is to get into the professional bodies of that career that you are choosing to be recognized. Because in most of those professions, like in Canada, if you are not a member of the Professional Order of Translators, you cannot certify a translation document. For instance, you have translated a birth certificate or a death certificate or transcript or academic certificate. You need your stamp there as a professional, a member of that professional order. If you are not, that translation will not be recognized. So that is why certification is important in terms of professionalization. I hope that adds to the beautiful response from Moji. So once again, thank you very much, everybody. It's been a pleasure. I've learned a lot and I keep learning, and I challenge you to keep learning as well. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Jumoke, what would you like to share with us?
Okay, for me, I would say that the person that asked the question about international jobs, to get an international job, one thing that you have to be like Doctor said, if you're a professional, you should be international, you should have a certification. Because like most international jobs that I've come across, they could be asking for a medical doctor, or they want a medical doctor that can speak French, because the job is in a French-speaking country or a Spanish-speaking country or something like that. So don't just say you want to, if you're looking for a certification for a language, then that means you want to work like a translator or an interpreter in an international organization. But if you are looking for a place in an international organization that is not based on core French, like for me, like an accountant, then I know that I need to have the international certification for being an accountant, like the ACCA. So that's how it works in most international organizations. That's all. And then I want to just say thank you to Joke for this program. I've met so many people, Moji, Tom, everyone. I'm so grateful. And I hope that we can keep in touch. It's all about networking, like we said. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Jomake. I would like to go to Temitope because I know she has another webinar this evening.
Okay, so what I just want to say is, which I said in my speech, is that just take the risk, because I know, yes, I've heard a lot about certification and all of that. If you know me, well, my sister is here. I'm not a bookie, and I've talked about how I've moved from different sectors, and I don't have a certificate, although I'm a business person. Maybe you say, okay, because I'm not a career person, so to speak. I moved from makeup to cleaning to agriculture to fintech, and I lead a fintech company. I led an agriculture company. So I just identify value, I identify solutions, and I go for it. And one thing that has helped me is the people that I surround myself with. Is very important. Surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. You know how you have friends and you say, I'm the best out of my friends. There is problem. You have to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. And that is one thing that has helped me in my own journey so far. I don't have any certificate or degree in finance or in agriculture or in cleaning or in, okay, makeup. I learned makeup, there's a memory, but I have moved from different things because I just find value in those things and I go for them. I learn like no tomorrow. I just learn. If I know that this is something I'm excited about, I learn. I lead one of the foremost fintech businesses here in Nigeria, and there is no how that you check all I've done. I've never collected my certificate from you. So I'm just trying to know that don't restrict yourself with the degrees and I didn't go to this school, I don't know this person, I don't know anybody. I came from Mushin, she knows my story very well. I know nobody, but I've been able to break so many barriers and protocols because I was willing to stand and take that risk. So my encouragement or my closing note for everyone here tonight is that you are the only one that can restrict yourself. So push yourself, whatever you need to learn, whatever networking you need to do, whatever certification you need to get, if that is what is required, get it. But don't limit yourself by yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Please, everybody asking for the recording. If you registered, you will get the recording. I would like to move to Idebo. Your closing remark, please.
Let me start by saying thank you to Madam Uibo for putting this together. You have actually improved or increased my circle of influence. So I know Shegun, I know Tope, I know Moji now, through you. And I also want to say thank you to everybody that has spoken. I've learned one or two things from each person. And what I'll also say to each of the participants is believe in yourself. Whenever you wake up, is your morning. And I believe that this kind of programs that are waking us, are waking our own essence to say, okay, what am I doing? What am I not doing? What am I doing right? Or what am I doing wrong? So if you feel that there's something that you're supposed to be doing, chase it with all that you have, chase it, give it your all. And if the journey through that path is not working, don't be afraid to try something else. I'm a testimony of through different jobs in my career. I started on computer science. Of course, I did not write codes. And while I was working, I realized very quickly that where I am, if I don't write codes, very soon my job is going to be extinct. And I went to project management, right? From there, I found my passion in HR, and that's where I am right now. So never be afraid to try something new. And I also think that language being multilingual is the best thing that can happen to an individual. Shegun had a lot of quotes, when he started off. I guess when we get the recording, I'll be able to like master them again. For me, it just resonated with me to say that, look, if you speak another language apart from your mother tongue, I think the sky is your limit. So if you're already speaking a language and you're adding another thing on top of it, you will just be the best at what you do. So I encourage you, whatever learning that you need to do, whatever certifications you need to do, whatever you need to do for free to learn new skills, please do it. And I think you'll be the best at what you do. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. I would like to go to Mojisola.
Okay, I'll start out by saying thank you so much to everyone, especially to all the speakers. Sunday evening is very crucial in the lives of working professionals. So thank you so much for taking the time. And thanks to Madam Oyibo for doing this. I think it's incredible work you've done. I know so many lives will be changed here today. So, so thanks to everyone. Prof, I'm not gonna call you Shegun, you're Prof. We continue on that culture. I'm not going to break it. So Prof, thank you so much, sir. And it's so nice to connect with you. I think I'll touch on what Nosa said there. I think with any kinds of progression or growth we're trying to achieve in our lives, I always emphasize on 5 things. And I think that Nosa mentioned one of it right there. Believe in yourself, that's confidence. You have to be confident to fight the battle to the very end. I'm not saying fight like fight with people, fight for your dream, fight for what you want, okay? Number 2 is for you to be in the midst of people who can help you achieve that goal. Be in a community. Community will help you, it will carry you, it will expose you to networks that is beyond yours. Number 3 is for you to be courageous. You have to be courageous. One of the skills of the future is resilience, okay? For you to succeed in any field at all, you must be able to bounce back, okay? Even if you fall flat on your face, you must stand up courageously and continue to pursue that goal and dream. Number 4, I'm saying this in no particular order, is for you to have clarity for what it is that you want. And I think someone touched on that. It's not about just acquiring certificates upon certificates. It's about knowing exactly what it is you want and gaining skills and experience in that area to help propel you to the next level. I shared that I came from a customer service background. I did my first degree and second degree in sciences before I decided I wanted to switch to human resources. But the magic that I knew is that if I'm accredited by CIPD, which is a requirement for here in the Republic of Ireland and in the UK and so many other places in the world, I will be a hot cake. So I put my hands in my pocket and put £3,000 to gain that certification. It changed my HR game big time. Things people have been struggling to do for the past 10 years, I've been able to do it in less than 3 years. And it's mind blowing, So, and when I got into the market last month, I had 5 great companies looking for me, saying, MJ. One lady reached out to me from LinkedIn. I didn't look for them, they looked for me. So if you have the right skills, opportunities will find you. And finally, one of the ones I always love to share is for you to just do everything possible for yourself through investment, commitment to self, hard work. You must continue to work hard. You can't be lazy and succeed. You can't be lazy and be on top. You see, people wake up 4:30 a.m. every day in this part of the world. Some of them are parents, some of them are in school, some of them are working professional. They juggle everything. So don't be Netflixing and chilling. Take that time to learn, take that time to work hard on yourself. And I'm telling you, the sky is the limit. And finally, I want to encourage you, stay connected with Adejoke. She may be a good asset to use in leveraging your career opportunities. So I would say stay connected to her.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mojisola. So we're going to draw the curtains here, but before we go, thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you, Idevo. Thank you, Temitope. Thank you, Jumoke. Thank you, Mojisola. Before we go, I just want to introduce, and I would love if our speakers are still around, introduce everyone to the language community that I am working on, or I've started working on. It's a community for language professionals. So one of the things this community is set to do is to bridge that gap. And here I would like to just share, this is where I want to share my why for this community. I started out as a teacher. I started out teaching in Alliance Française after having my first class degree in Unilag. So I had a first class degree and I got a job offer by Glo in Chad. But I refused that offer. I was like, who would go to Chad? What's happening in Chad? And I refused it. Another job offer came for Sierra Leone. I refused it. And then I wanted to work with aero contractors as cabin crew member. Then I was married, I was pregnant, I lost that job opportunity. So I was left with teaching. So I had to join Alliance Française. I started teaching. I taught in Alliance Française for 5 years. And then I moved into schools. I taught A-level French. I taught in Grange. I taught in big schools. And then I got tired of teaching. And I told myself, there's more to me than teaching. I started taking courses. I started taking certifications. And then I landed a sales job, education consultant sales job, where I was selling French books and training. And in fact, most of the teachers here should know me for that because I was going around school selling language materials until I got into the where I work currently as a sales manager, a client success manager, where I work with French markets. I manage French markets. And in my company, because my company is a very fast growing company, we are always in need of people who have skills and can speak language. I've had opportunities to sit in interview panels, and we never get people who have the right skills and the right language proficiency. It's either they have the language proficiency and they don't have skills, or they have skills, they don't have language. And I said to myself, a lot of people that I know are in these buckets. What can we do to help them? Some of them don't even know that they can get these opportunities because they are not aware. Information is key. What you don't know, you don't know. So one of the things that I'm thinking of is, let me create a community with the people I know, the likes of Moji, the likes of Temitope, the likes of Dr. Jumoke, Aidevo, and many more people that I know. We can come together and help people unlock their potentials. You don't have to get stuck in classroom, because I know, I can tell you for free, a lot of French teachers that are teaching today, they are not happy teaching. It's because they don't have a choice. If I get a witness, please just let me know. If there are witnesses here, let me know. So that's why we're creating this community. And one of the things we'll be doing in the community is career coaching, training, networking, internship, and job opportunities. If you have been looking for a job, you're thinking about, oh, how do I get internship opportunities? How do I do this? How do I do that? I know how people I can talk to be able to help us. It's not something I can do on my own, but with the wealth of people I know, I want to leverage on that to help a lot of people, because I have been helped by God. However, this community is only for the serious-minded. And that is why it's a paid community. But tonight, because you are part of this program, we are going to make it free for the next 6 months for the first 30 people to register. First 30 people to register will be on this platform for 6 months for free. If you come after that time, you would have to pay subscription, and it's going to be an annual subscription. The reason why is it a paid community? And I'll tell you, because a lot of people, when they hear community, they hear money, they just switch off. We want only people that are serious. If you cannot pay to change your life, then I don't see what you can pay for. So if you're not serious about changing your life, that means you won't be able to drop money for this community. So that is why we're going to start this community. And I'm going to be sharing the link to the registration of the community in the box. And first 30 people, please, only first 30 people to register would be free for 6 months. And it's going to be basically career coaching. Let me share my screen again so that you know what you're expecting, so that you don't have other expectations. Training, networking, internship, and job opportunities. These are the things we'll be doing. And, you know, with the people that I have with me, I'm sure that we'll be able to help you to do that. So I'm going to share the link. While I'm trying to share the link, somebody asked Doctor a very, very last question. Doctor, when are you starting your online translation school? I'm trying to share the link while that question is being answered. Okay. First 30 people will get it free for 6 months. Somebody is sending me a message. Are we automatically in the community? There is no automatic in the community, because even when you register, we are going to interview you. We don't want people that would come to the community and would not be serious, because when you begin to get those jobs, that's our testimony. And we want people that will be committed, people that will do the hard work. So I'm sharing the link. Please register. Even if you're my sister, register. I'm sorry I'm saying that, but please register. That is very important. Doctor, are you still there to answer the question? If not, I want to thank everyone. Okay, Doctor is here.
Yeah. Oh, thank you again, Joke. Well, I think I saw the question. I smiled. Actually, my friend that asked that question, thank you. I am not planning to set up an online translation school. Not, at least not now, maybe in the future, but not now. However, I can introduce you to a small outfit that I coordinate a project that is called Credit. Credit is Center for Research and and Development in Interpretation and Translation Credit. Credit is actually a product, a byproduct of my PhD thesis. It's one of the recommendations that the thesis jury strongly recommended that it be implemented, and by God's grace, we got it implemented. Credit is incorporated and registered with the government of Canada. There, we don't do formal training per se. It's a networking platform. What we do is to expose people to opportunities about scholarships, opportunities about publications, opportunities about trainings in the field of translation and interpreting. You can join that. There is a closed Facebook group for Credit, and the website is also a work in progress, but you can connect to the Facebook group and be part of Credit. It is not a formal training center, like I said. It's a platform for sharing and for networking. That is what we have for now. Maybe in the future, as God helps us, in collaboration with other colleagues, we may come up with an online training certification program in translation and interpreting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. I just want to thank Dr. Aidevo Temitope Jumoke and Mojisola. This wouldn't have been possible without you guys. I am super grateful. All the participants, we had 66 people from the beginning, and we are 53. For waiting till this very moment, I want to say thank you. Please keep in touch. My LinkedIn details are in the chat room. If you need anything, you have my email addresses. Please just keep in touch. And I've started this. This is something I really want to help. If you want to be a part of it, if you don't even want to be part of the community, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'll be willing to help. Thank you, everyone. Have an amazing week. Bye-bye.